What is going on, everybody? Hey, can you hear me? Sounds like everything looks like it's okay. What is going on? Hey, everybody. Afternoon. It's Happy Wednesday stream, which isn't usually what happens. So that's always a good thing. Good. Welcome to a special edition of Wednesday. We are doing something a little bit different. I don't know how long this build's going to take. I don't think it's going to be too terribly long. It's a pretty simple build. So there's going to be a little bit more talking in this as I talk a little bit more and spend a little bit more time talking about the part. So it should be good from an educational standpoint. What this video will eventually turn into is a choosing the right GPU for your budget build conversation that is going to be a video that'll be out sometime next week. So really what's going to happen is we'll do a little benchmarking and then it'll head off to Kevin where he'll do all of the in-depth benchmarking along with some unannounced GPUs that are part of this. And then you'll have like a much more in-depth like choosing the right GPU for your budget build, which should be super good. So it's going to be fun. I'm going to have a good time with this. I'm liking this one more because it's a little bit more educational and open discussion, which I think will be fine. You'll still get to see a build from end to end. And then depending on where we are, like when we do our little bit of benchmarking just to get an idea of where this system sits, then we'll probably do is we might just pause and play some teamfight tactics at the end, which is, this T has been acting weird. Play some teamfight tactics at the end and end with a little bit of gaming stuff. Hey, Red Dragon, your GPU goes out tomorrow. It's here, and so it's going to go out. So you got a Aorus Extreme 3080 Ti. So that's they're the last of the 3080 Ti's. Anyway, I want to let you know that that's going out there. But anyway, welcome to Robeytech. I'm your host, Justin Robey. For those of you who haven't seen, there's been a lot going on between packs and everything else. So it's been a pretty crazy little bit of time for me. I came back and I was trying to stream on Monday. It was just too much. And then I was supposed to do it again on Tuesday with some Amazon stuff again. I just needed a little bit of rest. PAX is crazy. PAX is like super condensed. I did find out that we have a lot of people who like to take pictures with Robey now, which is actually a pretty fun one. I thought my name was Robey. No, it's Justin. But it's been, it was a good experience. It was fun, and I'm glad to be back to streaming, which should be fun. Thank you very much for I Am Alan for the sub. It looks like we got a couple other people. Unway, thank you for the Prime sub. And then we'll talk about giveaways and all that stuff. That seems to be a great segue right there. Let's talk about what the giveaways are. So we have one giveaway that is for sure going to happen, and that is if we get 500 likes over at the YouTube, or we might do 300 because this is kind of a weird stream, but 300 or 400 likes over on the YouTube thing, then we'll go ahead and give away two $25 Newegg gift cards. For hype trains, usually those happen when we get a level 5 hype train. We'll also give away a $25 Newegg gift card. So anytime that basically happens, we'll give one out. And then the last thing is it's your last week to get in on the 3070 Ti giveaway that we're giving away for this month. We'll announce that winner the second weekend of. We'll announce that winner on the second week of May. So it should be, so that's that. If you want to get in on that, you can do things like what Silly Mr. Goose did or Unway did, where they basically did a Prime sub. The difference is Ofway got a 1 entry, and because Silly Mr. Goose did a tier 1, he actually got 3 entries. If you do tier 2, you get 5. If you do tier 3, you get 10. And then the other thing too is every extra, like if you do a gifted sub like so many people do, then you get an extra entry per gifted sub. So pretty rad. The other thing too is starting in May, we'll start doing the names on the build mat. So we've got a bunch of build mats. So as we fill them up, then we'll switch them out. And then we'll probably do is give away the build mats that have the names of our like top tier supporters. So these are people, usually I think what we're gonna do is if your name is number 1, 2, or 3 on the list per week, depending on how that goes, then we'll probably end up putting your names on our build mats, and then that is your way of celebrating you as being one of our bigger supporter and really appreciating what you guys do. So something to a little bit of competitive there, at the same time helps us continue to make great content here on Robeytech and all that sort of stuff. So how many entries for OnlyFans? Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, there we go. Geez. Anyway, so that's kind of the stuff that's happening. Now I want to talk a little bit about this week. So we have a pretty busy week. Even though things got started a little late with Wednesday, we do have another stream tomorrow. We're going to be showing off parts you can buy from GameStop. So GameStop provided the entire PC from parts you can do. So that's going to be happening tomorrow. There is an Amazon deal stream on Friday, and then there is a stream on Saturday and potentially also a stream, there is either a stream on Saturday and Sunday or just a stream on Saturday. So we're building a May the 4th build. We're doing it in partnership with the fine folks over at Blue Horse Studios. That build will be built on stream and then will be given away starting on May the 4th. So it is a ridiculous PC, should be really awesome. It's in partnership with Seagate and Newegg, and it will be completely customized in the world of May the 4th. So we'll be doing all sorts of stuff. So we got May the 4th. That'll be the giveaway for the month of May. That should be super rad. Not to mention, we also have some other builds coming in. It's not Darth. It is actually it's with Beskar in some regards, so it will be from The Mandalorian. I can give you guys some ideas here. Talking to Ron today about it. And so it is, it will be Bo-Katan. So it's a Bo-Katan themed PC. Bo-Katan. So that's going to be what it is. So it's all being painted, super customized. All the parts are silver, look very much like Beskar. That is going to be our May the 4th one. So very, very custom build. Should come out looking for it. What's so special about May the 4th? I am Alan. May the 4th be with you. It's Star Wars, man. Oh, geez. Star Trek is life. So the modding person is Ron Christensen from Blue Horse Studios, which we've partnered with and done a lot of this stuff with before. So should be super, super good. Yeah. So yeah, hey, thank you very much, Edwag, for the gifted sub and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it should be a good sub. Yeah, it should be a good stream. He'll probably tune in to watch it as well, so you'll probably get to see him. And then obviously that video goes live along with the giveaway on May the 4th. And then usually they run for about three or 4 weeks. So should be a good stream as well. When are we going to do more of the water-cooled build? So that'll either happen on Saturday if we have to do the May the 4th build on Sunday, or it'll happen on Monday if we get to do the May the 4th build on Saturday. So I don't know why. Yeah. So again, because we have so many streams, we have to throw the May the 4th one in them. So we'll have to figure that out. But yes, it's very soon, and so it should be finished by into next week. We got the last of the parts that I did want to get, so some cabling and some things like that. So we'll be doing part 2 here in the next either Saturday or Monday. Is the plan. So which is where we're going. So that's a good question, and we're going to be doing that as well. But that is happening, Links, and I'm glad that you guys are excited about that as well. Did you guys enjoy the PAX stuff? How many people, raise your hands, how many people tuned in for any of the PAX programming? We built a complete custom water-cooled loop with main gear on there in less than 45 minutes. We also did, now there was some creative liberties. We did that build with BoxBox. I'd love to see hopefully you tuned in. And then we have some other really cool stuff coming up as well in other places, which should be super fun. Good, I'm glad people actually got to enjoy it. By the way, what was the cable issue? What do you mean, Najia? What was the cable issue? What do you mean by the cable issue? I saw you at PAX. Didn't want to say hi because you were super busy every day. I don't know if you saw my message earlier. I did not. But what? You should have come say hi. You should always come say hi. Olsen, you were in the audience? You guys didn't come say hi? I had so many people pull me over and take pictures. You should have just said hi. Oh, that. Yeah, so on the MSI PSU that we had, I wish I had taken one of those things. There was a lip in between the 6-pin and the other 2 pins that I've never seen before. Even the MSI guy was like sending pictures that basically created a solid bridge so you couldn't connect. So we had to take a razor blade and cut it off so we could actually get it inside. So that's what the issue was. But then we got it turned on and fixed and got it all fixed, and so it was really, really good. Oh, Olsen, don't be shy. Come say hi. You guys are my friends, right? So you guys are my community. Come say hi. Yeah, it was an X-Acto knife. Well, it wasn't. Yeah, it was an X-Acto knife, and we got it all hooked up. What was the issues with the 12 series? Was it the ones with the flexing IHSs? No, it wasn't. It wasn't. The Intel thing is not. I don't know. It's complicated. Tom's got its thing. Tom's Hardware is doing a whole investigation on it. We're working on some stuff as well, but it's going from there. Is the bot correct here? Is the best budget for the 12 ran inside of a? Yes. The thing is it could be. We're going to be talking about that, so it doesn't really matter, Blondie. It's fine. Anyone got budget mic recommendations? We do not. Okay, so anyway, let's talk about the parts that are going in here. Guys, let's see if we can get a hype train going just to celebrate us being back and then we'll go from there. But let me start talking about parts, because I want to talk about the parts and why we chose them. And I really had a great discussion with my tech specialists about this, because they were the ones who kind of drove this conversation. So just so you guys know, if you want to build this PC, it's so very close to the budget, the $1,000 budget PC we just released, which was a step-by-step. In fact, it's there's some differences, but if you want to build this PC and you follow that step-by-step, it's very, very close. I loved it all, just wish it was a little different. Didn't know how to, some of the panels were super rushed. Then they had speed runs on games. Wish the panels of PC building and information was longer than it was. Okay, Lynx, that's good feedback. And maybe we can do a longer one moving forward. Let's walk through the parts, and we're going to talk about each one and then why I chose it versus other ones and where you might do recommendations. And again, this is open to discussion, so I'll try and make it a little bit faster for you guys, so I'll wait for you to respond. I know we have slow mode on. I don't know if it may not be a bad idea to turn it down a little bit less. Hey, Victor65, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Appreciate you, man. I want to have this is an open discussion for you guys to have this and go from there. So that's where this really is. So let's start with our CPU. We're going to be doing the Intel Core i5 12400. LGA 1700. So this is a little bit different than the build that I actually put up on the other one too. On my original build, which was a 12600K. So let me talk about the 12400. At the time that we had put the 12600K in our $1,000 build, which you can still now do a 12600K for pretty close to that. Yeah. So the reason we basically did this in this case is because we wanted to make sure that at the time we hadn't tested the 12400. This is actually a really miraculous CPU. But the one thing is that it's one of those things that gets super interesting the lower that you start to go down the product stack. And I'd love to get your guys' opinion on this. But with the 12600K, you actually get a lot of options with that CPU. First and foremost, productivity starts to open up. You can actually unlock it. It's actually unlocked. Things like undervolting, overclocking, stuff like that actually opens up within that, especially if you have a motherboard that has AI overclocking. So there's actually more performance that you can pull out of it. And because it runs so cool, you can actually do quite a lot with the 12600K. With the 12400F, there's a couple things you lose. You lose integrated graphics, which there's some where there's actually some applications or programs that actually use that, especially in the rendering stuff. This starts to turn into kind of a little bit of a one-trick pony. It's super inexpensive, and it's a heck of a CPU, and you can actually cool it just fine with the cooler that's actually built into it. It's also very, very power efficient. Yes, it doesn't take a ton of power efficiency, and it's inexpensive. That's just the God's honest truth. It's really impressive what you're actually able to do from a gaming standpoint using this CPU. But when we get into the discussion that we're going to get to about GPUs, there's some things. If you're wanting to do more, like if you're going to start getting into streaming content creation and stuff like that, I would definitely recommend saving the money and going to a 12600K. I would also never recommend, just given what we're learning, don't ever go below unless you absolutely need to go below this. The 12100 is actually another great gaming, but again, you are seriously getting deficient, specifically some of the things that are coming out for gaming and productivity as we get into 7000 series, as we get into Raptor Lake and stuff like that, that the 12100's core count is actually going to start becoming a deficiency, and you'll probably end up having to replace it sooner than you probably want. And with replacing, that means the money that you can spend, just given the price budget, actually ends up being better just spending the money on a 12400. So that's where things are. Newegg rocking the 23 views. Yeah, that's because most of the people, there's actually almost 300 people here right now into the Rift, and they're mostly on my YouTube channel and my Twitch channel. So, yeah, we streamed to Newegg for just to get additional, so they have additional content for their channel. So anyway, that's one of the things. And that's one of the things that I enjoy about the 12400 is the costing. But it's just one of those things that you always have a conversation. So there's every time, like when somebody says, well, I want to make a budget build, I want to spend $1,000 on a PC. It's never just as simple as like, this is the best $1,000 build you can do, because it may depend on what you're going to do with it. And so I'd say the best close to $1,000 all-around PC that you have is actually pretty close to the one that I actually spec'd. That I originally did the build with, versus this one is actually probably more gaming focused than it is more well-rounded content creation focused. So, Oh, that's why we can't see all the comments. Oh, yeah. Yeah, understand. People are actually talking. If you guys want to, giveaways and all that stuff are going to be happening over at the Robeytech side anyway. So, hey, congratulations, Priyan. I'm good. Playing the, I know Overwatch 2 hit 1 million concurrent viewers today, which is actually great. It's good to see. I just hope that they do a better job managing their esports teams. Okay, so let's talk about cooling this thing. So you do have the option here. This is, so we have an interesting thing with this. This is like just a miracle cooler, and I know Maiden and those guys absolutely really love this cooler. And this is the V5 CPU cooler from Vitru. And the thing is that it's 39 bucks. It's really inexpensive, and its capacity for cooling is really high. We actually did do some thermal testing just with the stock cooler, and honestly, the stock cooler did really well inside of this case. So this is an optional spend because you can't really do anything more than you need to. You can't really do anything more with this CPU than what it's going to do, right? Like again, the one thing that this does help with, believe it or not, is actually GPU temps, because you're just getting more air circulation versus if you do stuff. So the one thing the $39 does is that depending on what GPU you're going to put inside of this, you actually end up getting, it's just the air is circulating a little bit better. PAX was good, creamy thick. It was very good. So anyway, that's it's an interesting one because like once I got done with this, if you wanted to save a little bit of cash and spend this money on say getting a higher end GPU or whatever it was, I would be actually okay with that. I know a lot of people really kind of poo-poo on using stock coolers outside of the Radeon stock coolers, but there definitely is some improvements in this, and actually the CPU cooler on this is actually pretty easy to install. So great option there. It does run a little bit warmer, but it's not going to be anything. Again, the one thing that we did notice is if you actually end up using your own thermal paste, you can actually drop it to pretty good, and it does more than enough. This thing literally can almost cool itself just by blowing on it. So anyway, it's a super interesting thing there if you want to get into that. And if you want to save a little bit of money, you could not spend the money on this. What's up, Kalika? It's good to see you. Okay, so for RAM. This is like just a great, so this has been in part, like there is, and again, one of the things that when I chose all these parts, we definitely tried to make sure that every part that we chose was going to be sitting at its cost for a long period of time. Hey, what's up, Dirty Kill Mongoose? Thank you very much for coming and saying hi. What's up? Hey, what's up, Mr. Hyper? But all in all, this is like just great RAM. It's super inexpensive. This is the T-Force Vulcan Z. It's no frills, 3600 megahertz, CL16. It's usually it's funny, it's usually in a combo deal with like an NVMe SSD. But the first day we were about to do this, it actually, the day we were about to do this and talk about it like this as a deal, it actually ended up selling out. So when we chose all the parts for this build, we were choosing parts based on their mainstay cost, like what their average cost is over a period of time. And so the one thing that was super important for us is like, I was like, you know, when we first did this and I said, hey, tech specialists, make the best $1,000 build that you can. Like they had actually chosen parts that were like combo deals. And I was like, hey, you know, just to be clear, the last time we did a $1,000 build, which had like 2.2 million views, we had 100,000 people build that PC. And so when you think about the weight of those recommendations and ensuring that like 6-7 months from now, that they could still get it at pretty close to that cost, that's why we ended up choosing the parts that we did, knowing that they couldn't be part of combo deals. Some of this stuff you can find cheaper, and it will be cheaper or more expensive at times. But it was important for us when we were basically choosing the parts to make sure to do this. Anyway, great RAM. It's still, if you're even if you're doing like a mid system and you're okay with not having RGB, this is a dang good kit of RAM and very performant. So that's honorable. What do you mean, tough and stuff? Do you think that GPU prices are going to keep dropping till the 40 series? So here's the deal about it, X-Ray. I don't see shipping changing. The main reason that we have the issue that we have is gas prices. Gas prices and shipping are directly tied, and that's not going to change until war basically ends and basically the current administration's change in terms of subsidies against gas prices. So I think that, based on the conversation we're having, GPUs are kind of at the lowest point they're going to be until 40 series comes out, which is supposed to be sometime early next year, based on the conversations we're having. there is actually even a chance that you'll start to see GPU prices start to go back up. One thing is the moment that 40 series gets announced, 3000 series GPU prices will skyrocket. Couple reasons. One, they stop making them because all of the production stops making the 3000 and it starts going to 4000 series. And then everything is all about creating demand in preparation for the next GPU. I would actually ideally say that right now is probably the best time to go get a GPU when we have a ton of inventory in channel, and at the same time, prices have pretty much settled and people are celebrating the fact that prices are going down. I think the only thing that they'll potentially do is actually go back up. So, a lot of above the reference MSRP, and people forget that AIBs are always more expensive. That is very true, Maiden. So, I would just definitely say, yeah. And then there's a lot of, I've even seen on like even open box items, if you're okay with doing that stuff, there's a number of GPUs that are on sale on Newegg that are open box items that you could pretty much go from there. So pretty sure you could, yes, Jonas, you could if you wanted to, but not CL16. Most of the RGB RAM that's going to be around this price is going to be CL18 or higher. I was thinking about getting the 3080 since it was under $900 now. Yeah, right now is a great time to buy a GPU. And I don't think that there's a reason to wait anymore. It's funny because now I probably get in arguments more often with people who are like freaking out and they're like, I'm paying $60 above what the reference price was. And it's like, seriously, if that's where you're going to fight, then I feel like you need to go find a new fight. So, so anyway, that's our RAM and that's good there. Now I'm going to be putting 2 NVMe SSDs inside of this. Sorry, this box got beat up, but that's the thing sometimes about, this box got really beat up. That's the thing sometimes about being a YouTuber is you just get samples and they're like, hey, here you go. But the one that we're actually requesting that you put inside of this build is the new SN570 NVMe SSD from WD. Really, really good price. The good thing is it's got a good mixture of both performance and also endurance. So I mean, if you're going to install a bunch of things on this 1 terabyte drive, it will last a while. I really do like WD. There's such a great cost to performance. It's funny because like I really like Seagate too. Seagate has a tendency to be more pricier, and that's usually because you're paying for endurance, which isn't necessarily something that you need from a gaming standpoint. I do find more often that people who build PCs around the $1,000 price point have a tendency to also not play a ton of different games. They might play the free games and stuff like that get on the store. But for the most part, they're playing specifically Call of Duty, specifically Fortnite, specifically Valorant, specifically Teamfight Tactics, specifically League, which this PC can more than do in general. But so in terms of you writing and removing, uninstalling and reinstalling games is always something that, you know, there's a chance, but for the most part, most of you guys are going to end up playing the same game. Yeah, the box died a hero. In this, the reason we have a 2 terabyte in here is I installed a ton of games on this, so we can basically show some stuff in there. So it's just an SN550 2 terabyte drive that apparently got run over by a truck. So we're going to be putting that in there as well, just to make sure that we could, when we turn this on, most of that stuff is already set up and ready to go. I'm trying to think of other things that are important. Now, again, one of the things I would say is if you wanted to, adding a 500 gig drive to this, which I mean, if you wanted to get rid of the vTrue and then keep the stock cooler and add a 500 gig drive, you'd actually probably end up saving yourself some performance just because as NVMe drives, and I don't know, Maiden, if you know, I don't know if this one has flash or not, but as certain drives, as they get more full, they have a tendency to have their performance drop. So by having a separate OS drive and then having 1 terabyte just for games, you actually just increase both you're doing a better job so you don't end up doing anything that damages your OS drive. And then the second thing too is that you don't end up with performance. So I wouldn't do a mechanical. I would definitely, given OS, I would definitely do an NVMe. And again, a 500 gig NVMe for like 30, 40 bucks is actually pretty reasonable. Yeah, beat up box. It's you said markdown. This was free. So Kurosaki can't get any cheaper in terms of what the costs are. Okay, so anyway, so far pretty much gone through a lot of information right now. But any questions? Anything that I can tell you guys? Would a 3070 or 3070 be an upgrade for my 6700 XT? So Riken, we're going to talk about that here in a minute, and so I'll talk to you guys about AMD versus NVIDIA, and then that you can have that conversation in there. So from there. Depends on, yeah, that's the question, is it kind of comes down to there. So anything else that you guys can think of, any other questions? It's 3200 megahertz. It's 3200 megahertz CL16. Yeah, it's 3200 megahertz CL16. Oh. Hey, Hey guys, let's see. We're super close to actually getting a. We're actually super close to actually getting a hype train if we want to unlock that. By the way, well, I'd like you guys to unlock that if possible. Okay, so let's talk about boards. So this is a board. The reason we're choosing this. So this is the Prime B660 Plus D4. You'll actually see this in UFD Tech. He used the micro ATX version of this. But we're going to use the Prime B660 Plus. Now, here's the deal about motherboards, especially when you're using like a 12400F or a 12600, not a K, anything that's not unlocked. The B660 is more than good enough. The one thing is that I am choosing stuff that I specifically know isn't going to necessarily have an issue. That is super important to me. Because there are certain less expensive motherboards from companies like ASRock, Gigabyte, that are budget level boards that we have had fail on us. I have had the least number of Asus boards fail on me of all manufacturers. NZXT is another one. I also haven't a ton, but those have a tendency to be very inexpensive. So when we chose this board specifically, your performance isn't going to get better as you go to a more expensive board. What you're basically going to get is you're going to start getting more options on the board, so to speak. I know, but pray and I'm good. They're actually designed in conjunction with NZXT, and NZXT has a lot to do with trace routes, the PCB material, and even the software and BIOS stuff that goes onto it. So they're not done solely by ASRock. They're actually designed in conjunction with NZXT. I had a lot of questions about that. I understand NZXT is ASRock, but I'm also talking at the budget level, not the higher end level. But that's a good point. Certain boards, the PCB temp around the socket gets really hot when looking at a 660. An infinite maximum, that's actually a really good point. Again, not really an issue at lower end, but where it is weird is when you start using a B660 board with like a 12700K, anything higher than a 12600, and you start getting odd, I would definitely recommend at that point in time going to Z690. So there are limitations to these boards. It's so funny that they have like B660 Strix boards that have beautiful VRMs and all this stuff for things that you're just not really going to do anything with. But in terms of why I chose this board specifically, is it's Asus, it's Prime, which is still one of those things. It's not the prettiest board. The other thing too that you also start to get when you start going further down is where CPU fans are placed. There's a lot more placement for saving money than there necessarily is for just putting things and clumping them for ease of use. And you'll see that a little bit when we do the build today. But yeah, I have this one just because they have a tendency to be more reliable. It's kind of at the bottom in terms of where I'm willing to say, hey, is this something that I feel confident that 100,000 of you could use? That would be basically cool. Yeah, that is a Mass Effect build sitting back there. Yes, it is. Yeah, so Org Chaos, there's a good point right there. If you go with a 5600, you can get a lot more options from the B550N, and there's also B550s are cheaper. Yes, that is. So here's the deal. But the thing is that 12th gen across the board, pretty much it's hard for me to recommend Ryzen with 7000 series right on the horizon, and it's a dying platform, unlike what we're doing with 12th gen. 12th gen, you don't have that issue. And so that's why this build is specifically done around 12th gen. AMD's time is coming. Is there a Wi-Fi version? I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if Thomas can look that up, if there's a Wi-Fi version of this. But guys, to be honest, you can just buy a Wi-Fi 6 USB dongle for pretty inexpensively. Yes, at that point in time, it is taking up a USB slot. But then again, you could always get a USB thing from there. Hey, I'm glad. Any other questions that you guys have seen so far before we start getting into the bigger conversations, the much more hard conversations? Should I build a PC with a GTX 1650 and RTX 3050? I would say an RTX 3050. Caddis. With the 3070 Ti, would the 12400 be okay, or should I be looking? I would definitely not get. Yeah, with a 3070 Ti, I would not do a 12400. I would do 12600K at a minimum. Ideally, do a 12700. Yes, it does. FanWham, the one that we're actually that we have linked down below, it actually says right here. It says LGA 1700, and it does come with the bracket. This is a great little cooler. Yeah, 12600 is a great chip. But with a 3070 Ti, you're kind of getting into that weird. Actually 3070 Ti and a 12600 would be fine. I don't know. That's a tough one. It's like in that gray area. 2000 is a great budget to spend on a PC. It's just a TI is such that's you're getting into performance, and honestly, you can get a 12600 and you can get a 12700K for just so close to $300 that it's worth just spending that much more, because it does make a big difference at 1080p and 1440p. 12700K is such a great CPU. The only thing you got to worry about is then obviously there's a little bit in terms of cooling, but that's nothing undervolting doesn't fix. And there's a video coming out next week from me that shows you how to fix that stuff. Okay, cool. Well, then it sounds like you guys are good. I haven't seen any other questions right now, so we'll move on to the next part. Is it worth upgrading to a 5950X? I've noticed I need more cores at my work. Devoted Phantom, it's a great time if you're going to upgrade in the world of AMD. Now's a great time if you're fine with staying in AM4. and the chips are so cheap, because I think at this point in time AMD's just trying to blow through inventory. So, we'll talk about that. Yeah, we're going to talk about power supplies here in a minute. I don't think you have to worry as much for. I don't think you're going to have to worry as much for 4000 series. I think 5000 series. You're talking about power supplies, tough and stuff. I think you're going to have to worry about that more with 5000 series. Okay, so let's talk about GPUs, because this is the hardest one, and this is actually what spiked. This is what actually spiked this whole conversation. This is what spiked this whole build, because my techs, which I now spend a lot more time with and talk to them a whole lot more, my techs, when I did my $1,000 build, were like, hey, if I was going to do a $1,000 build, the card I would recommend is the AMD Radeon RX 6600. Now, a couple things have changed since that conversation happened. One, GPU prices dropped dramatically. And then two, it was just, I did my own testing. So I hadn't done a ton of time with this card. And so I was like, you know what? You're right. I should spend some time with this card. Let me go play with it and figure out what it actually is capable of. And to be honest, I was actually pretty impressed. I was actually very impressed. In a vacuum, the 6600 is a great card. In a vacuum, in certain ways. And I'll talk a little bit about that here in a minute. So let's go through each one of these cards. If you're building, and why and where this card makes the most sense. Let me just be super clear. Right now, the best card for a budget build that you can get, hands down, is the EVGA RTX 3060 XE without the background, without the backplate. It's $379, which is only $50 more than this. You get all of the bells and whistles that come with NVIDIA, and it outperforms these cards handily. So when I think about the best budget build, if you're building a budget and you're trying to be like you're being the most effective with your money, this is the card that you want to put inside of this, hands down. There's an AMD one, there isn't anything else. This is the best card that you can put inside of your PC. And I'll talk about that from there. Now, where does one spend the money if you want to do, where does the RX 6600 make sense? That's a good question. Because from a gaming standpoint, just pure gaming, nothing else taken into account. DLSS, FSR, all that sort of stuff, nothing else taken into account. This is the best, if I'm only going to game, GPU for a budget build. If you can't purchase this, if you're thinking about cost, this goes off the table. If you're just thinking about cost and your choice is between these two cards, that is true. Or it's just starting to get hard, right? Like the moment you can start justifying, you're absolutely right. But the other thing too is like 3060 Ti still has a tendency to jump quite a bit above the 3060. So I know we can start going higher, but I'm trying to say at AMD has the bigger bot. Yeah. So anyway, we're saying when cost is what matters and you're trying to get the best performance for your cost, when do I get a 3050 and when do I get a 6600? So for 6600, if you're only going to game, then the RX 6600 makes sense. If you're not going to stream, you're not going to encode, you're not going to play ray tracing games, you're only going to play multiplayer games, and you care about just sheer gaming performance, that is where an RX 6600 makes a lot of sense. And it does outperform in most cases the RTX 3050. But if the moment that you need to do more than just game, then this ends up being a better deal. better. So in the moment you're going to stream, if you're going to stream and game at the same time, 22% hit, which takes away almost the entire uptick for this GPU goes away, versus this one is so this actually outperforms when gaming and streaming an RX 6600. If you want to play any ray tracing games, because the thing is people are like, well, what about FSR? FSR 2.0 is on NVIDIA as well. So there is very little in terms of what this card does from a hardware encoding standpoint or just graphic power standpoint that this thing doesn't do. And with ray tracing enabled, because of the tensor cores, I think I'm saying the right one, because of the ray tracing cores, and this one specifically, this outperforms this card handily as well. Now, I know there can be an argument that says, hey, ray tracing in general on this sucks. It depends on what your bar is. I can play with DLSS Cyberpunk 2077 at almost 40 frames per second. With this card, I can't do that anywhere near that on this card. And that's with ultra settings and running DLSS at performance. I can't use ray tracing on this at all with CyberCore 2077. So when you think about, and then the other thing too is if you're going to do any game or if you're going to do any video encoding, DaVinci Resolve works better with this than it does with this. So that's why we're doing a whole video about choosing the right budget GPU, because it's not as simple as just, hey, which one's the best one to do? And then what people do is say, here's all these graphics cards and here's how to beat them, and all they do is show gameplay. That's not a fair comparison, because there's a lot more to consider in the ecosystem as to why I would recommend getting a 3050 over a 6600 because of all of the other things that this potentially unlocks that this doesn't have yet. Now, with 6000 series on the horizon, the new Radeon GPUs coming out, that may change, but right now it's hard in that regard. So, exactly. So anyway, the whole point of like when I chose the GPU that I ended up putting in this, like at first we were like, I talked to the techs and they were like, yes, we should put this card in. And then we looked at the price and we said, know what? This is the card that we're actually going to put inside of the build we're going to build today. But if you're going to choose from a budget standpoint, you need to decide only gaming, and that's all I'm going to use it for, then this is the card that you want. If I'm going to do anything else, gaming, streaming, any content creation, stuff like that, then this is the card you want. And then if you just really can save the little bit of money, then this is the card that you actually want. So hopefully that goes in. Yes, count to it, you're absolutely right. Then this is what I was saying. These options are for people who budget matters. Like they are trying to spend the absolute least amount of money on the PC. So 3060, I'm taking 3060 Ti off the table. I'm taking 6700, 6600 XT. Those are all off the table because these are right around the same price. You can get this for as little as $260, $270. This can be right around $300, $320, and this is about $350, $360 at the cheapest. Everything else starts to jump into the 400s, and that's not fair. So, how about the frame buffer? 12 gigabytes makes a big difference. I mean, again, sure. I'm like the RAM stuff is interesting as well, but we're just gonna. I think what I care about more than anything is yes, that for this one, like this is still the best card. So I'm looking at getting a 6600. Okay, so hopefully that answers the question. And if I wanted to, this was like a big meat part of this stream was to talk about this specifically. So any questions based on what I've basically talked about here that you guys can think of in terms of, I guess I want to go this way because this is like more, there you go. A lot more talking on this than I normally do, but we're going to have plenty of time to do the build too, so I'm not overly worried about it. So for esport titles like FPS, the 3060, yes, just hands down is going to be a better card. The 3060 outperforms just graphically all three of these. This card is better than the other two. Why is a 3070 so much more expensive than a 3060? Well, just because the performance jump between a 3070 and a 3060 is pretty big. How about clearance? Will they fit in a standard cases? Is the watts much more than you need for a big power supply? So tough and stuff. Okay, so these are very small cards. So I mean, the other two that actually gets, and that depends. Like this is the same size as many 3070s. These are smaller. Watts wise, like you're looking at 650 watts for all of these cards. So I mean, you're not going to get. I would not. Let's talk about PSU here in a minute. But I would not worry too much. Like I think we're starting to get a little bit deeper with that. So just knowing 650 watts will work for all three of these cards, and you're not going to have any issue. But Drewski Pooski, the 3 fans for these cards is overkill for cooling. These cards are all going to run. I mean, I can tell you what the 3050 and 3060, they're both going to run in the 70s, low 60s, high 70s. I mean, low 60s, mid 70s, high 60s, low 70s. There's no problem there. I don't know about your country. That's saying. In One Cursor, you can buy it on EVGA's site. It was in stock as of this afternoon, and it's in stock all the time. EVGA.com, and you can go get a 3060, this specific 3060 for $370. Fluid Benny, between Newegg and EVGA, EVGA still has some of the cheapest prices, so EVGA.com is a great place to get it. So Mac, I'm not going to go because today's focus is on budget, and again that goes into Mac. It depends on the games you're going to play. 6900 is a great card just for multiplayer gaming, and it actually outperforms the 3080 Ti handily in certain games. But again, if you're going to play Cyberpunk or you're going to use FSR, you're going to do anything like that, or you're going to do encoding, streaming, then the 3080 Ti becomes a better benefit. The other thing I will also say is that NVIDIA releases driver updates way more frequently than AMD does, and there is typically better performance unless it's an AMD-specific title on NVIDIA games on new games with NVIDIA as they first release. EVGA's website is offline. Okay, well that would be terrible. I don't know. Sometimes as white, yeah. Actually, buying white GPUs is actually pretty easy now. Yeah. So do the Drew. It's up to you in terms of what cost you want to spend. So if you I don't care if some people the backplate looks nicer if it's worth the extra $20. Yeah. All your viewers took down the So praying I'm good. You can go. That's what I was saying. You're paying for white when you can go get this for $370. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about power supply, because this was another interesting conversation with my techs, and so I will tell you that I'm going to always be overkill when it comes to power supplies. So the single largest product. So in this case, we're going to use something that's relatively expensive. Here's my 2 cents, and I know that this does differ than the opinion of I got my text settled on this. We had this conversation. Here's my 2 cents about PSUs. This is the single most dangerous fail point for your PC. If something goes wrong, the odds of it screwing up or destroying the rest of your products ends up being really high. The other thing too, and this is another thing that I go from this is also, if I'm going to have 100,000 people or 10,000 people or even 100 people go and take this and go and say, hey, I'm going to build this build, I do not want to be responsible for screwing up your PC. I don't want you to put something in there that is going to go in there and then blow up. So when I went and did this, so there were other options, and there are. So for instance, there's the CX series from Corsair. There are bronze level power supplies that are actually pretty good. But I'm just going to say, you know what? I'd rather pay, it's kind of like travel insurance or insurance on a lot of things. I'd rather just pay that little bit of money because, and I had a really good conversation with a couple PSU manufacturers about this. Gold-rated power supplies have better MOSFETs, they have better components, they have better capacitors. The chance of failure on these specifically, and I want to be really clear, on name brand, well-known tier A PSUs, the components in these are going to be more durable than if you go to silver or bronze counterparts, just hands down. And the cost difference is usually in the $30 to $40 mark. If you want to save the money and you want to make this $1,000, then get rid of the Ventru and run the air cooler. That's gonna cause far less of an issue than you actually potentially having something go wrong with this. Can you do cheaper? Absolutely. And and if you want to do that, that is your risk. And all in all, it could be in many ways a very small risk. But if I'm going to recommend something and I want to make sure everybody feels super confident, then EVGA 650 G5, which is one of their higher end, their G5, G6, one of their higher end PSUs, I know that you're not going to have a problem. Anybody could do this, and it's like one in a who knows how many chance of actually having something fail. So when I go in this and somebody's like, why would you spend this much money on a PSU? My thing is that it's the right power, it's at gold, it's got higher capacity, it's got higher quality bits in it, and it means that I have a lower chance of having something fail because I'm using this PSU. You can make your own decision and you can do your own research if you want to go lower. Just know that you're increasing the risk, and albeit it could be small or it could be really big if you start to do something less expensive. That's my thing. And that's where it goes up. Here's the deal. I don't have a problem with you using a Corsair RM650X. I don't have a problem with you using a Seasonic, their Prime line. Any one of those. EVGA, I just happened to get this one because this was, in terms of cost, this had a tendency to be the less expensive at the time. On average, it has a tendency to be the least expensive between the other ones. Second one for me was the RM650X. So somebody's saying EVGA. Right now, EVGA does a great job of pricing their value. They make very high quality products for a good value, and a lot of that is because they don't spend as much money on partnerships. The way they do marketing, influencing, all that sort of stuff actually means that they're taking money and it's saving you at the product point, which is why I have a tendency to do EVGA as much as it is. So need to leave, yeah, and you have headroom. So I actually have a Japanese interlock on my first build so far, so yeah, creamy thick going from there. But it's just one of those things that you go from there and I want to give you guys the questions. I want to answer your questions. That's what this stream is about, because a lot of people come in here and say, I want to make the best. Cosmic Halo, those are great. No issue whatsoever. The RMX, those are awesome too. I'm not trying to be bossy. I'm just trying to make sure that I answer the question. So if somebody said bossy tech, I'm not trying to be bossy tech. I'm just trying to give you good information so you guys can make informed purchase decisions about the components that go into something like a budget thing. And this one is so many questions I get about building a PC like this that I'm trying to take the time to explain more than more than I'm trying to do than I normally would when I choose parts for a build. Yeah. Oh, it's okay, Shockwave. I just want to make sure I'm passionate about this, so yeah. What would that be per year? So tough and stuff, it depends. So the thing is, if you live in Texas, it would take a long time. If you live in Washington, it could take it would take less time. You know, because for instance, I think, who was I was talking to? Somebody who lives in Texas. I don't remember who it was. I don't remember. But anyway, they said that their power bill is $76 a month. Like all up. My power bill is $240 a month. So yeah. Igor, 5 gifted subs. You are the man, man. I appreciate it. So, anyway, so it just depends. Why does the T keep shutting off? It's telling me to build. So anyway, that is all the parts. Oh, let's talk about the last thing, the case. I forgot about that. So the last thing that goes in there. So the last thing I'm going to talk about today is the case. Yeah, 5. Yeah, so it can say you can actually make the money more depending on what the cost is of energy, to answer your question. So this is when we talk about the case is such a personal thing, but this one comes up a lot just because it's a consistent cost at $89. It comes with 2 RGB fans. It's easy as heck to build in. It's easy as heck to build in. It's easy to cable manage. It's got all the room that you need for all your components, and on top of that, it's got a couple little quality of life things that make it actually really nice. It's got an LED button. It's got USB-A. It doesn't have USB Type-C or anything like that. And then all in all, airflow and thermals inside this case are fantastic. So P360a is probably one of my favorite budget cases. You can fit ATX, micro ATX, mini ITX all inside of this build, so it's just nice. And hey, Red Dragon, there we go. Guys, let's get the hype train going. Right between Igor and Red Dragon, we got it. Let's see if we can get it going. I'm doing good. 32-inch 4K monitor. 32-inch 4K. I only know, it's funny because all my recommendations right now are 43 and 48. Let me see if I can get that for you. I don't know off the top of my head. One more drop, one more sub, one more gifted sub. Remember, we got that 3070 Ti that's up for grabs this month, guys. Let's see if somebody can get in that. Just dropping a M32U. There we go. That's a good one. Yeah, the Gigabyte M32U. I know a lot of people really like that one. And we've actually tested that one too. We just need one more gifted sub. Remember, 3070 Ti for grabs. There we go. Cal Ral. No, maybe not. Oh, there it is. Vicar of Mayhem. There it is. One more item. Vicar may have dropping his 1,000 bits. So we got them all coming out there. We're literally one item away. Now it's up. So this is the case I would definitely recommend. The only thing I'm going to add to is a couple things for pretty, and these are optional for you. So we're going to be adding Asia Horse cable extensions, just because we want to make sure. There it is. There's the hype train. T. Riley, Cosmic Halo doing the gifted sub. Let's see what we can do, guys. Asia Horse cable extensions. This is just to make it look pretty. You guys can choose not to do these. I just like pretty builds. And then finally, the last thing for an extra 12 bucks, we had the last remaining RGB. You can get a much inexpensive fan if you want to. Airflow is what I would recommend, and that is the SK120 PWM fan that we're going to throw in the back. So, thank you very much, M23G, SRT Baltazar, also Red Dragon for your 300 bits. You guys are rock stars. I see names on there that are already going to make it onto the mat this week so far. Have we tested out the QD OLED? So the OLED that we have tested is we've tested the Aorus. We have the 48-inch. Igor, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. We have the 48-inch in the other room, and it is awesome. Like, I am so we actually are flying Tom. By the way, guys, Tom is coming back to Seattle. So Tom is coming out here, not next weekend, but the weekend after. He'll be here on set. He's going to be testing the 48-inch. The 48-inch of that, and then he's also going to be doing our 1X player and some other stuff. But yeah, he's coming out here to do some testing. T-Jed, thank you very much for the sub drop. FamWham, 16-month, man. T-Jed, welcome to the family. So, should be good. I need to get a 3080 12 gig first. Well, luckily, Org, those are coming down in price. Are you not cool unless you own a 5 gigahertz PC? No, computer enthusiast. You are cool if you are just for being you, man. Oh, so Derek, you know what? It's funny. I have to talk. So I know that Britt Nene and Tech Tesseract have played with it. I haven't heard like what, like, I know that they're pretty hyped on Alienware, but after Steve kind of ripped apart the same PC that they didn't do so, I don't know. Until I use it, I don't know what to recommend. I have a hard time recommending stuff we haven't tested. Took me 9 months for 300 gifted subs. Let's see when I hit 500. Well, I appreciate it. Okay, guys, let's finish out this stuff. We have 118 likes on Robeytech. Remember, guys, we're actually PC guy. We're gonna do it at 300. This is gonna be a shorter stream. Oh, you're welcome, Derek. But honestly, that 48-inch OLED, I mean, like, Kevin was, like, drooling. Like, he was so happy with it. So. Okay, so there you go, Cowrell. Yeah, so I think all in all, it's going to be great. I love the FV43U or Chaos. Like, that's another one that I cannot get enough of. And it was, like, $6.99 the other day. 3 minutes, guys, then we're going to start the build. And the build should go pretty. We've done the hard part, which was talking to you guys about all the parts. Was this helpful? Was me talking through the parts like this for this build? Did you learn something? Was that actually useful to you? I'd love to know. I'm really trying to make this good for you guys. You sent Gamer Dude? You did send a super chat? I didn't see it. Oh, thank you, Azzy-chan. Gamer Dude, I'm sorry. Did somebody see Gamer Dude's super chat? What did you say, Gamer Dude? 2 minutes and 28 seconds, guys. Okay, we'll see you in a bit, Alpha Factors. Oh, I'm sorry, Cyber. Oh, man. How many, by the way, guys, we're Team Fight Tactics. We're like I said, we're starting to launch the gaming side of things. And so the gaming side of things, those things are starting to kick off there. We've done some a Team Fight Tactics stream. Probably going to be another one tonight, so yeah. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, TFT I'm really enjoying it. Superstars, Prime, Vicar 10. Whoa! Vicar wants to be the first name on the Robeytech mat. Yeah, it might be delayed, dude. Should I buy a pre-built and upgrade it myself or build one myself? I already have the case that I want. Jeff Wilkinson, at this point in time, you can do either one. Yeah, honestly, getting the parts is actually pretty easy, so if you want to just build it, then you can. You are very welcome, Gamer Dude. Thank you for saying thank you. I appreciate it. There it is. Last 88%. We're at the very end, guys. The fifth lament. Hype, hype, hype. Okay, we'll see you later, Jonas. Thank you for tuning in, man. We have the last little bit. PC Guy, 5 gifted subs. Rockstar, there it is right there. CalRoute, 1 gifted sub. Igor, 2 gifted subs. Gunlauger, 10 gifted subs. Holy moly, what just happened? You guys, Rockstars, thank you so much. I super appreciate it. That was, wow, that was super sub hype right there. Holy moly. Wow, holy cow. 133%, 140% right there. Whoa, oh no, it's still going. It's still going because it's still catching up. Holy moly, we haven't had that high of a hype train in a long time. Thank you guys. Wow, thank you very much, guys. Oh, Superstar doing 5 gifted subs. Whoa, can we get to 500%? Whoa, I don't know. Man, this is crazy. Wogman dropping a Prime sub. 14-month anniversary. Happy anniversary, Wog. Thank you, guys. Thank you again so much. Vicar, you're a rock star. Appreciate you. You're a rock star. You going home? Okay, we'll see you later. Everybody say hi. Bye. Bye, Grandpa Robeytech. Bye. He says bye. Wow, that's huge. Okay, guys, you guys ready to start building? 300%, man. Whew. That feels nice. Appreciate it. Okay, let's bring it up and start building. So we're gonna grab some parts here. Some parts. Finally doing some building while you guys come to watch the show. I don't know if how many of our, I don't know, Maiden was still, I think I saw Maiden here and some other people. What did you guys think, though? Yeah, I know, Org, it could be that fast. You're absolutely right. It is a budget. I'm building a budget PC right now. That's what this is. This is a budget PC. That's exactly what we're doing. This is a budget PC. Okay, let's go to top down. Okay, so let's start with our motherboard. By the way, we might. Oh, it's out of focus. It's being wacky. Hold on, one sec. We'll get it to fix itself. Hold on. What, you guys want to actually see what you actually want to see it? Why would you want to see it? Why do you want to see the build, guys? Jeez. By the way, we might do just for fun for the month of May, because we have this build, and I know a lot of people probably would. I know some people would like to do it. I think what we're probably going to do is we might do a subathon, like just a quick subathon. When we get to X number of subs, we'll give this PC away on stream. So we'll just put up a sub goal for a whole month, and then the moment that we unlock that goal, then we'll just give this PC away. So I know you guys have been saying about subs, like you guys feel like for people who watch, like, but this one's not, it's only $1,000 plus PC, which is, I mean, for a lot of people, that's a great PC. And we'll probably just be like, I'll put up a sub goal starting in the month of May. And then when we hit that goal, and it'll be a pretty high goal, guys, but when we hit that goal, right, because we want to make it, it's helping support the team, then we'll just give away this PC right there. That moment, we'll do the drawing and then give it away. Or maybe what we'll do is I don't know, we'll think about it. I got to think about that. But if you have ideas, go over to discord.gg/Robeytech. Leave your thoughts. By the way, I spend a lot of time in that Discord. Blondie would even tell you, I spend a ton of time in Discord now. So if you guys want to talk to me, or you have things, fitness channel, TFT channel, tech channel, I'm in there and quite a bit now. Every morning, just always looking for people to chat with. So I spend a ton of time there. And so if you guys are always down, yeah, see, so there we go. So if you guys ever want to chat with me, I spend time in the Discord. Thank you, Vicar. I appreciate that. Okay, let's get the CPU in. Now this CPU does actually come with a custom cooler. This one, sorry, not a custom cooler, a stock cooler. It's blue, so it's actually not that bad. It's prettier than the previous ones have ever been. And it's actually really easy to install. I can actually show you, because I told you that we had done some testing of this when we actually tested with this cooler. So it comes with pre-applied thermal paste. You don't actually need thermal paste as well. But you can actually see that we've actually used this cooler when we did our testing already. So actually pretty good cooler. It doesn't cover the entire IHS, but on a 12400 it actually does a pretty good job of keeping the CPU cool with the, I'm blue, dabu dee, dabu die. It's a good song. It does a pretty good job of just keeping the CPU cool, especially inside of the P500, inside of this case. So, like I said, if you wanted to save a little bit of cash when building this PC, you could just go with a stock cooler, if you wanted to. But yeah, we'll probably do a subathon goal and just give this PC away on a stream next month. Which I think it sounds like from your guys' reactions, does that sound like something that would be good? Does that sound like a good subathon type thing to do? Did they really? Did that just happen? Okay, good. I love that. I like to do things that make you guys happy too. Cool. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna put our CPU in. This board is very open. Like I got lots of room here for this board, so. We're using the Intel 12400. This is a budget build. The whole focus of this, I did a whole dissertation with a full lecture earlier in the stream to walk you through why I chose all the parts and what we did. I feel very confident in this build from a right parts. This is honestly one of the best budget, I would say, if not the best budget BC that you can build when you think about budget. If you were going to save for this build, this would be an awesome build to build. It's got plenty of headroom for gaming, 1080p. You can even do some 1440p, and you could even start to dabble in things like content creation, etc. And we talked a little bit about what some of the other potential upgrades you could do, like going to a 12600 or something like that. If you just wanted something a little bit more content creation focused, yeah. Okay, so there's our CPU. One thing we are going to do, because I always do, up to you. If you want to save money, you don't have to do this. But I am always going to cover the entire IHS and cooling, just because it's the best way to make sure. Budget SFF win. So praying I'm good. We are actually going to be making a LAN build. So a PC specifically for me taking the LAN events. But yeah, that's on the list. It's not going to be budget though. That's a good question. I don't know if I need to do. Would you guys like to see a budget? Would you guys like to see a budget SFF build? Usually those two words don't go together. Put a lot of thermal paste on this one. What do I got on this that I'm like scratching here? Must be a little particle or something on this. Little particle or something. So right now, when I say budget, it's right around $1,000. I have a really hard time, if a ton of people are gonna go build a PC that I have a really hard time going below that budget because I don't wanna have anything go wrong. Or I don't wanna get it to the point where they're paying like a year afterwards. Like this PC, I would feel confident that somebody could use for 2 years to play most games. So it's a great PC to spend your money on. And you could even upgrade it as long as it wasn't an unlocked CPU if you wanted to. Go Raspberry Pi. There we go. Okay, so our IHS is covered, and we're good to go there. Okay, let's throw our RAM in. trust in the pre-applied thermal paste. I don't trust in pre-applied thermal paste because most of the time they don't pre-apply it to cover the entire IHS. And with the new architecture, you want to cover the entire IHS of the CPU. And that's not just me saying that. Kingpin, some of the world's best thermal, like the best thermal and overclockers agree. So it's not just, you don't have your just friendly neighborhood PC builder saying that. You also have people who do more than that. So, okay, there's our CPU, our things. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our click that some people love, well, most people love, but there are a few who do not. There we go. Stop our music real quick. I don't know why this keeps switching things. Okay. Click ASMR time. Here we go. These actually click pretty well too because they're like nice, thin, stout ones. So here, let's see if we can make sure that you get, is that worse or better? That's worse. You want to be out of the thing. Who told you I didn't? Nice. Okay, there we go. Okay, first one. Budget clicks. Here we go, guys. Oh, that was 93. That was pretty mushy. Never mind. I thought I remember them being better. Can we change this stream category to ASMR for this one part? 83. Those were both pretty terrible, actually. Both pretty terrible. Not the best ones right there. Hey, what's up, Forceline? How are you, man? Okay, we're gonna go back to chill with me. Budget clicks, there we go. Okay, let's go ahead and throw it. We're gonna throw in our M.2 drives real quick. This is the beat up. Look at how beat up this is. Like, this is like super beat up. Like, man, this thing has been abused. I mean, it works because I've already done it. It's prime. What did you expect? Nice, Craig. Everybody's like, yes, yes, yes. This box has suffered. A lot of votes there, 29. I see that not everybody likes to vote in the polls, though. I've noticed that sometimes. Okay, so let's pop this one in real quick. I'm like taking my time during this build, guys. Because I could build this really fast. There we go. How good do you think this build would do in Teamfight Tactics? There we go. Okay, so that one's in. Let's take this off. Oh, they don't always show up? Oh, that's weird. Oh, that's awesome, Forceline. Yeah, it should play it just fine, right? Yeah, I know. I should build a budget potato PC for running TFT. Well, you guys will see it today, more than likely. Arnold, main reason being is that I had a lot more failure rates on a Gigabyte than I have, and I've used a lot of motherboards, and we've had a lot more issues with reliability on Gigabyte than I have on Asus. It's a 80 M.2. Hi, Kevin. Hello. Everybody, I was telling everybody how much you love that 48-inch OLED. He goes, it's an awesome monitor. Actually, I want to build a TFT, like, travel LAN case. So I'm going to talk to Ron about if we can get that done. Oris is coming out here. We're going to be doing something with Mods by Ben. and stuff like that. So I'm going to talk to him to see if maybe we can have Oris, and we'll make a custom TFT travel PC. There we go. Okay, so there's that. Everything's good so far. I have never done, it does support 3 M.2s. Yeah, you got another one that you can do right here. Yes, Frozen Fire, we have done ray tracing testing on a 3060 and it's fine. I mean, within reason, but yes, it is actually pretty good. Okay, so I've never installed this cooler before. My tech has done all this, so this is me experiencing it. He was not happy with it. The last one that I did, I ended up choosing a M.2 cooler, which was really overkill for a 12600K. So I'm actually really excited this cooler exists. I know the AMD version of this installation is actually very, very easy. Yeah, doing a computer in a suitcase. Yeah, he's done that one too. We're gonna build a whole thing that fits inside of a, oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Fits inside of a, Robey, use your words. What are those things called? Pelican case. Okay, so we've got, oh man, all our cables are like down here. See, so this is the thing when we talk about Prime here. So I've got usually you're used to up here, you'll have like a I have an RGB here. Used to like CPU and CPU headers and stuff, they're actually down here on this board, so they're in a different place. Luckily, there's an RGB header up here, so it's just, the thing is I'm gonna have a little bit more weird cable management versus having them all up here, like you're used to on like a nicer board. Built-in nuclear football. Okay, what do I need? Let's see how easy this is to build, guys. New experience here. Okay, so there's our Intel. Intel. Okay, so it's already on 117X here. Seems pretty straightforward. i5 10400 RTX 30 and 800 pounds. Homeschooling edition. I'm not a huge fan of that CPU GPU combination. I mean, for 800 pounds though, I mean, again, this one is that same price and you get a 12400. 3060 Ti is pretty good though. I don't know. It's hard for me to think about that sometimes. Okay, LGA 1700 is far out. Okay, so I got to change LGA 1700, LG. Okay, so this is already in the right place. Okay. So homeschooling, probably, that seems okay. I just wish it wasn't such an older CPU. That's pretty dated at this point. What the heck is this? Okay, we're going to turn this over and figure out how that's supposed to work. Weird. Oh, this goes one out. Oh, okay, I see. There we go. Okay, so you got to pull it out to the edge, and then it fits. Okay. So just to show you what I was struggling with here a little bit. Oops, no, it's stuck. Oh, I'll take it out though. I'm okay with that. Okay, so on this, so just if you're following along and you want to know how to do this as well. So on this cooler, there are these little brackets. And the way it looks is like there's actually an LGA it says 117X on here, and then it has LGA 115X. The way this looks is it almost looks like it's on 11, but you actually have to pull every single one of them out to the edge to make it fit with 1700. So just as an FYI, and then it fits beautifully on the back here. I'm new to installing this cooler. So that's why there's some learning stuff here, but I wanted to kind of do it for the first time on stream. Okay, so there it is. Pretty straightforward there. Now what we're going to do is we have the Intel. We're going to grab our Intel brackets. Yeah, it's so inexpensive. Okay, you have the same thing here. You just got to push it all the way out to the edge for LGA 1700 on here. Just make sure it's all the way out to the edge here. The other thing too is you can use this to poke out people's eyes. Look at that. Look at that. So you just want to make sure that, see, there's these actual screws here. These actually move. So you just want to make sure it's all the way out to the edge. And it looks like you mount these onto the, ooh, I scratched my finger. Looks like you actually mount this onto the cooler first, which is different. I'm not used to this. Okay. Okay, so now we need to grab our little screws here. I really cut myself, guys. Look at that. I cut myself. I scraped myself on the... I'm bleeding. It took blood. This V-True took blood. I'm dying. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to put this like this. It's bleeding worse now. We're going to put this in like that. I might be dead, guys. I might die here on the stream. Yeah, EVGA Jacob. There we go. Yeah, look at that. See, it's like bleeding now. Bleeding my own blood. There you go. Puts a little pressure on it. Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Little dodgeball reference there. Now we just need sweat and tears. Yeah, exactly. 7,000 series, you mean, Kung Pao? I think they skipped 4,000 series. Yeah, the cooler comes with this bracket. Yep, this cooler comes with this LGA 1700 bracket. And the link we have down in the description below is actually the LGA 1700 version. I didn't have to buy this or do anything else. Okay. Exactly. I'm bleeding for what I love. I'm a martyr for PC building. Okay, so that's now installed. Pretty straightforward there. The next step is to bring this back and peel, because that's a good idea. Peel. There we go. Nice plate. Good thermal paste application is going to be important here. Okay, now, sitting on something? Is it? Okay. Let's grab our more thin. There you go. Okay, so now we're going to make sure the V is facing the right direction. It's already set up correctly, and just start putting it in. And then we're going to go star pattern. Not quite, there we go. Okay. Okay. Get that one going. Okay, now that they're all started, start putting it in. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can count, guys. Yeah, these are actually, I mean, like I've been really, like the cooling performance of it has been very good. Now I can just finish it. Let's see. Yeah, people have been really impressed with it. There we go. They definitely did not spare any expense. Like it's definitely not, it does not feel as premium as, say, for instance, like a Noctua cooler or anything like that, but you can't argue with just the performance stuff for it. Let's clean off the top here, a little microfiber cloth. It stands for Battlefield 5. I heard a sickening crunch. It's definitely I mean, like it's not, like I said, you can cool it 12400 with just by blowing on it. Not really a whole lot that you need to worry about to do this. Yes, it does, PC guy. This cooler is actually pretty impressive. Okay, let's get this in. Our V-True fan. They want it like this. There we go. Now I'm just taking this little bracket here, basically set it up just like this. You hold it just like this. You're going to put it on the inside part of the fan, like so. Then you just clip it, and then it holds on, and then there you go. Your fan is installed. Good to go. To be clear, this does not come with pre-applied thermal paste. It comes with its own thermal paste. So you'd have to apply it anyway. Now we just got to do some cable management. Ooh. Ugh. Get this cleaned up. So first what we're going to do is we're going to do our RGB. Just going to go over here. Right there. So RGB on the board. There's actually a lot of RGB headers on this board. Like 1, 2, 3 RGB headers. That's crazy. It's like RGB heavy. They're like, you know what? It might be inexpensive, but I know they're going to want RGB. What I might do for this one is I might pull this up to the top. I might worry about doing that later. This one is going to go right here with our CPU fan. Okay. You know what I mean? RGB. Well, it's ARGB, you're right. ARGB headers. Okay, what we're working on now is just getting our little bit of cable management done so we can hide this atrocious cable. Okay, so that one, what we'll probably end up doing, is I'll probably end up doing this and then running this up, because I think it'll look best that way. Okay, so that takes care of that. It's weird because I know OrgKS was saying that, except for on the U12A, it makes a huge difference, the pull. I don't know about this one, we haven't tested it. Okay, so there we go. This is ready to basically be put in there, but this PC is actually really far along already because there's just not a lot to do to it. Okay, let's clean up that top again. See if we can make it look a little bit prettier so we don't have any fingerprints. This thing is a bit of a grease magnet. And the one thing that does help with that is just a microfiber cloth will help you get that stuff off. We just won't touch the top anymore. There we go. Okay. So, CPU's done. I mean, CPU's cooled. Everything's set up. RGB's connected. Robey, looks like the RAM is covering the first RAM slot. You could, I mean, if you wanted to, you could lift it up a little bit, and then you'd be fine. You have movement here, but yeah, you could add another one. It's not a big deal. It's not, but you would definitely have to lift the fan up a little bit. So yeah, there is some fan clearance there. And this is pretty low profile RAM. It does, it would definitely hit on this one for sure. Looking at it, it definitely would hit on this one for sure. What's up, BMOC? Okay, let's get our case prepped. PG-13 time. Okay, so we're gonna just strip this case down. Pretty straightforward build, to be honest. Should be nice and chill. Okay, we're gonna take the back off here. Using a screwdriver because it's too tight. There we go. Okay, and then we're just gonna take the front off just to make the case a little bit lighter. Not adding any fans or anything like that, it just makes it a little bit lighter to work with. It's like one of the heaviest parts. And the only two is you get, oops, see. Ow. Calm down, Robey, jeez. There you go. And we need to get the little extras out. There we go. Okay, so we have everything we need now. Push this through. Let's go to top down. What's up, David? How are you, man? It's good to see you. Hey, Tom, David needed a recommendation for a good monitor, mouse, keyboard combination. Sorry, he was. I haven't had a chance to talk to anybody just because of today, but he's looking for something good there. He's the one who bought the Mass Effect PC. Is it WoW stick time? Not quite. I don't even know if we'll use the WoW stick. Ooh, that's like perfect right there. Okay, here we go. Oh, I almost forgot it, guys. I almost forgot it. Could have had that moment. Almost forgot it. Yeah, the I/O. Oh man, I/O. So used to those more premium boards. Almost forgot to put the I/O in. There we go. I/O is in. We're good now. That looks good. There we go. Okay. Hide that cable. Okay, there we go. I'm trying to think what I can do. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm gonna leave it away. Leave it the way it is. Yeah, it is a little bit further left. I was noticing that too, or Chaos. So you are getting some blockage because of that. There we go. Start putting our motherboard in. There we go. I don't do the WoW stick because you can you don't want to over torque or strip the standoff. So if you need to remove the board, it actually ends up getting harder. This way you can just kind of lightly start it and make sure that you're not going to cross thread the standoffs. So you'll notice I'll start soft and make sure it goes in. With the WoW stick, you can cross thread, and then when you're trying to remove the board, it'll actually remove the whole standoff. Just I built a lot of PC kind of stuff. There we go. I tighten at the end once I get to the end of the board, yeah. I mean, once I get it down to the end, I tighten it nice. But not over. You don't need to over-tighten these. I just get to the end, and then once it's solid in, I'll do like 1 or 2 turns just to make sure it's nice and tight. There we go. One more. Okay, so there's that. Everything there is good. Now let's just go ahead and add our other fan. Our SK120. PC guy. It's like, I need to use it more. The WoW stick needs to be used a lot more. I like that. There we go. Okay, let's get our little sticker time. I'm good, Miltor. How are you, man? Yeah, we usually use the WoW stick a lot more when we do AIOs and stuff like that, but because we're not doing an AIO, we haven't really needed to. There we go. Hey, Kujo Baka, thank you very much for the sub. When you're not using the WoW, just pose with the WoW stick to remind us in chat what it looks like. Okay. Here is the WoW stick, guys. You guys ready? WoW stick, so beautiful. All the power, everything that you need in the WoW stick. There it is, right there. The WoW stick. WoW stick. Tough and stuff. I don't think it's necessary. No, it's just, you know, it adds more frames, right? Just kidding. But it comes with the case, so it makes it just that much easier. And to be honest, RGB on the SK120 is pretty inexpensive. Yes, it does. It uses the oh man, what's the name of his thing? The arc reactor. There you go. Just as you FYI, Tom, David Weaver's in YouTube. It's okay, Casey. Oh, never mind. He got, there you go. He's taking care of it. I don't even know why I bothered. Oopsie. We're doing purple and blue. It's called the Bruise build, the $800 budget Bruise build. Because the cables I used are purple. It is going to be, the personal build is actually going to be, my new one is going to, I haven't decided, I'm planning it now. I was going to put it in the Have 700, but that case is so big. I kind of want to use that air-cooled one. The one I use right now is still the Cortana one that's in the Cooler Master, Master Box, TD500. But I have like 3 builds that I use pretty regularly. Okay, let's get our fan in. They just hit 10,000 on G-Skill for DDR5. I saw that. MSI hit 10,000 on DDR5. I thought it was 10,000, yeah. Yeah, for real. Hey, Chris96, thank you for the sub. I don't know. Who knows how high it's going to go, but I'm excited for it. Most people seem to still like bottom chamber PSU. The 6700 XT is a good equivalent. Oops, that would not be the right. Oh. At that speed though, I don't know if the timings matter all that much. It's just so much faster. There you go, Ron Core. Thank you. Build is coming together. I could use a WoW stick for this. What am I doing? I'll use a WoW stick for this, guys, so you guys can get it. Ready? WoW stick! Was that better? Was that good? Was that better? Did you like that plug? Okay, there's that. I don't think I need any more out of this. Okay, let's turn this down, turn this over. Trying to think of the best place to plug this in. Yeah, I want to do a Robey. That'd be cool to get to do a Robeytech logoed WoW stick. That'd be pretty awesome, actually. Okay, what we're gonna do here, hide that cable. Working on making sure that exhaust cable stays hidden. There we go. Got to keep making sure it looks good, you know. Okay, that looks good. Okay, let's get that cut. There we go. Okay, so that's that. There we go. Okay, so that's our exhaust fan is in. Let's go ahead and run our front panels here real quick. You guys can watch them come through on the other side. First one, HD audio, right there. Woo, HD audio. Okay, then we got our RGB for the rest of the case. There we go. Then we got our there's our little thing right there, our front panel. And then I have two fans. I need to get plugged in. There's one. And then the other one is right here. Those go right here. So what I can do, I'm going to go ahead and plug these two in because they're right here. There we go. Plug that one in, and then I'll do a top down to show you guys all the stuff I plugged in. There we go. There's that. And then we're going to plug our, make sure this isn't twisted up in there. Power switch. There we go. Okay, and then I'll show you all these, like I said, from the top. It's just a little easier sometimes with these. Okay, so here's your RGB. Move this little sticker down so it's not sticking. Sticker sticking. There we go. RGB is going to go right here. There we go. HD audio is going to go right here. I think. Nope, it's going to go the other way. Interesting. Okay, HD audio is plugged in. Okay, next, the last cable we have is USB 3.2. That's going to go right here. Okay. So all of our cables are now plugged in. Okay, so I'm going to go to the top down so I can show you what I did. And then that way you guys can kind of just get a good gander at my work. Okay, so what we have right here, just to walk through what we plugged in. So we've got, this is the RGB for the cooler. Over here we have the fan, CPU fan for the cooler. And then we've also got the fan. This is the exhaust fan right here. So this is in this header. This is USB 3.2. So this is from the front panel. Down here in the bottom left, you guys can see right there, there's our power switch. These are the two fans. These two fans are plugged in right here. This is the RGB for all of the fans itself. And then we've got our HD audio cable, which is last. So that's all of our cables plugged in. What we're gonna do now is flip this over, just fix some of the daisy chaining and make sure everything's kind of clean. Then we'll throw in our power cable and our EPS cable, throw in our GPU and our power supply, and we're kind of done. So the case is the P360a. Great budget case. There we go. It's a great case. And by the way, if people are curious, like, did I do this in a vacuum? I think BMOC and when I chose the parts for this case, I don't know why I just did that. We chose the parts for this case. I did not do this in a vacuum. Like, there was a lot of conversation with our tech specialists and stuff like that as a sounding wall to help choose the right parts for this build. So this is not, sometimes I don't do everything in a vacuum just to make sure that there's things I didn't think about. P508 is a great case, Victor. Great case. Yeah, I love the little RGB strip too. Little speed strip. No, you can do a triple fan at NVIDIA in here, no problem. Oh, with a front-mounted AIO. Oh, that's a good question. I don't know if somebody else can look at that. I don't remember. I never front-mounted AIO. on this case. Front mounting just covers, essentially starves air for your GPU, so I don't recommend front mounting an AIO. But I don't know if somebody could know about the clearance. I like how everybody's having a moment. They're like, I love my blah. I love my blah. I love that people love their cases. That's the way it should be. You should be happy with your build. As long as you're happy, who cares? Am I right? I think people would agree. If you're happy with your build, who cares what other people think? That's kind of my 2 cents. Congratulations, Stealthy. That's awesome, dude. Congratulations on the pass, dude. Okay, we're just getting our cable management done real quick, which is in this case is not long. Like I said, as long as you are happy with the PC build, that is all that matters. And it does what you need it to do. Then that's okay. If the AIO is part of it, then it's good. Yes, the P400 is a great case too. Okay, we're just getting our cables managed now. I like the 5000D more, Chibley, personally, just because it's more room. It's really a question of how much room you have for your build, but it just, for me, it offers more, it offers more flexibility. And it's a little bit easier to build in. And top mounting and room for AIOs and stuff like that is a little bit better. DF700 is a good case. I like that case. And the review for the DF800 comes out next week, the one that we just built in. Oh, wait, that's not what that's for. Dang it. Okay. Thought that was a tie down. It's not. We'll hold that down with the tie down. Okay. At this point, just getting cables out of the way, managed, and all that sort of stuff. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I don't have any issue with the 4,000. Yeah, the 7,000. That's getting really big, Kung. You're absolutely right. The 7,000 is bigger, a lot bigger. So somebody told me, and I don't know if this is true. I don't know if one of my tech specialists or somebody knows. Somebody told me that if you use the RGB on the motherboard for this case, I don't know if somebody could look this up real quick, that you're not supposed to plug in the SATA power, which is why sometimes you get the, which is why sometimes when you do that, you get that weird flashing, and then so it's either don't use, like use the SATA power or don't. So I don't know if somebody knows the answer to that on the specifically with Phanteks builds. Biggest mistake while building a PC? I think the one, it's funny, it was probably my first ever commission build. That PC, I did everything, all the fans were intake. Or exhaust, they were all exhaust. So that was, like the PC ended up being fine, and I ended up updating it like 3 years later, and then Tara brought it in, and I was like, oh my gosh. No, count to it, it's specifically the Phanteks fans. If you have to use it for IQ, it's these fans specifically, you're not supposed to use the SATA power, this SATA power right here, if you're using RGB power on the motherboard. Fastest right now, computer enthusiast, if you were just going to do stock, is a 12900 KS at 5.2 boost clock. It does, Org Chaos. This has an LED controller button. I guess I can just test it. There we go. Yeah, it was something that DePawn Shop had said, and he was like, "Hey, I heard that when you do this, because all of his builds are in these Phanteks cases." I don't know where the case controller is, though. I don't see a case controller anywhere. I have it in case I need to plug it in. It's not a big deal, but I don't know where the case controller is. Oh, so you would set it up here to be controlled? Come on. Oh, no. That was not what I wanted to do. Took all that time. There we go. Okay, cable managed. Seems fine. All right, I will check that here in a moment. I will check that inside the manual here in a second. We're going to give it a look. Because if I'm making that mistake, I'm going to correct it today. I have the case manual right here. It says, because it's 6 o'clock in Pacific Standard Time. Hardware installation, panel removal. Turning off LEDs will allow for turn off all LEDs will allow for software control and the mode color buttons do not function when using software control. Okay, so it says you just basically have to hold it until it turns it off and then it works. Okay, so there's how to do it. Thank you very much, Org. Appreciate that. Okay, so we have all of that squared. Basically, now we just need to put in our cable extensions to add a little pop of color for the Bruise build, the Bruise budget build, and then we have PSU and GPU, and then that's it. So this is our build as it is now. Pretty straightforward, nice and easy, pretty, clean. Okay. Yeah, exactly. I remember that, you're right. Okay, we're gonna use some purple. I think purple will look good with our Bruise build, with the blue and... Add a little color, You do a little stern talking to Rainfall. Like, come on, go faster, fans. Don't be a bunch of ninnies. The PT Bruiser, really? Is that really a fun fact? Is that true? Oh, good, I got it right. I was like, oh, I wasn't paying attention. But I accidentally just happened to do it right. Putting in our cables into the slots right now, which is always a little bit of a pain. There we go. There we go. So strong. I think this purple's gonna look good in here, honestly. Look at that, little touch of color. Now these are optional, obviously, for a budget build. They're just here to make the build look better. Profanity, really? Yeah, I like the purple pawn shop. By the way, pawn shop, for your build, you know when you plugged it into the motherboard? Oh, it works now, right? Yours is fine. You can change the color with your motherboard, right? Or you have to use the button. Isn't that correct? There you go, 24 pin. So to pawn shop, if you want to use the software, apparently what you do is you hold down the power button, the LED on button. Look in your Phanteks case. If it goes to off, then it'll go to software control and then it'll stop doing that, and then you can use it with the RGB. I just looked that up. Hey, Pillsbury, thank you for the sub. See, I think the purple looks good. Look at that. Doesn't that look nice? Little. Now you got like your red and blue, purple Bruise build. So if you want to try it, that should work. Though I know you're very happy, so you don't necessarily need to, just if you want to. Yes, Chibley. I would agree, yes. So there's a button, and it may be different on your case, but in your instructions it tells you there's a button up here. So one of these buttons, you just hold it down until and then once the power is, all the lights are off, once all your fans turn off, then plug it into your keyboard, into your motherboard, and then you should be able to control it with your motherboard. So you just hold it down until all the lights go off. It's the mode button. Okay, so I'm going to put these purple ones in here. Okay. Yeah, the problem is that there's a lot of builds that actually do need the length too, Alan. So maybe if they had different options, but I don't know if there's enough of a market. I actually talked to Asia Horse about that. There are builds that still need all that cable. And there's not enough market of people buying shorter ones for them to make different versions, because then people get confused and then they just don't buy them at all. Because they're like, oh, which size do I need? And then they're just like, ah. Yeah, these are the Asia Horse ones. Okay, so there is those. So there's the purple added. Look at that. Looks good, right? Those little two pops of purple there look good. Then we'll have the GPU with its purple cable right here, which will look nice too. Refresh my screen here real quick. Okay, there we go. Hey, Pig Radio, what's up, man? Thank you for coming in and saying hi. Okay, let's get our GPU in now. I did have fun at PAX. There we go. Couple of those. Oops. 3060. Yeah, I was super sad that so many people were like, oh, I was in the audience, or I didn't come say hi. And I was like, what? Why didn't you come say hi? Because there were people who were there. I mean, a lot of people said hi. A lot of people took photos with me, so never be shy next time. Okay, here we go. Here's our little GPU, tiny little 3060. There it is. Really, really small. Which is why it's so inexpensive. Nice little budget build. Like I said, we're going to be next month, we're going to do a subathon. And then once we hit the sub goal, we'll just give away this PC. So it'll happen for a whole month. It's the GeForce RTX, the EVGA 3060XC, which was like the ideal budget GPU for a budget PC. Because it's $370, 360 or $370. You know, the closest for $50 more above a 6600, or even less than $100 over a 3050, it's just the best performing one for your money. So if somebody was saying, hey, you know, I did a lot of conversation. If you're wanting to do budget, then I gave some recommendations for good budget one, like more budget. If you're just gaming, then the 6600. If you want to do gaming plus content creation or anything else, then the 3050. If you don't want to save the money. It's $370. Can somebody confirm on EVGA's site real quick? I think it's $370. The backplate version is less than that. Tristan, you can get it on EVGA's site for that cost now, all the time. There it is right there. It's up on there almost every day. Why? Just check tomorrow. It is there all the time. It and the backplates version. The backplate version is there more frequently. Is the backplate one in right now? The backplate one's out of stock too. I'm looking right now, I'm clicking on the link. Oh, no, go to, don't go there. Go to EVGA site. That's obviously Newegg, we're a big thing. Go to, here, let's do it, product. 3060 is, the 12 gig 3060, both are currently out of stock. 389 for the backplate one, and then the other one is 369. But they, like, I saw it was there this morning, so they go on stock all the time. Here you go. These are in stock, and I actually even talked to Jacob before doing the stream, and he says they get them very, very frequently. And also they show up on Newegg too. So just every morning go and pop in there. You'll get them for that much. You can get one for that. You just got to be a little patient. And I'm not talking about a ton of patience. I would be surprised if you don't get one this week. Just wake up in the morning, check, see what's there. Look for the restocks from Tom and from Jacob, and then you'll know. Is it in stock, Tom, or no? There it is, right there. 3060 XE black in stock, $369.99. Oh, what's that one, Victor? Where's that one in stock at? Okay, no, okay. It was in stock this afternoon. Pig, that's okay. Thank you for staying on the chat. Okay, there we go. And then I love this about this case, this little door right here. So you get that nice little... Now, if you were using the 6600, if you decided you were going to use a 6600, then it would actually be nice and straight, but it's still, I still think it's cool that you get that little window. It's okay, nerdy. Thank you for tuning in. Okay. Okay, so now the build is outside of just putting our PSU in. The build is pretty close to done. You guys having fun today? Good stream? It's the bruise build. Good. I'm glad people are having a good time today. It's funny because like anytime I do these budget ones, like they're never like the best viewership, but like usually the more it's like core people have a tendency to show up to these just because, you know, they have the most questions. Yeah. Because you guys wanted me to do one of these. It's okay, Victor. Oh, thanks, Zach. I appreciate everybody who shows up to him. You guys have been hugely supportive today. That'd be kind of cool if they could do like a purple USB 3.2 extension. I don't know if they make one. My dad took the, let me go get it. It was out here last time I saw it. There it is, yep. He always steals my knife and then doesn't put it back. Dang, the T shut off again. I gotta turn that thing off. There's like anytime like a Bluetooth thing comes on or whatever it was, it shuts off the T. I had to replace a controller in it. I'm gonna get this box undone, guys. Okay, there we go. Ooh, that was a hard one to open. Okay, 650 G5. We had the whole conversation about why I did a gold versus any other color. If you guys want to go back, if you really want to understand why I chose these colors, I mean these parts, I would definitely recommend going back and watching my dissertation on part picking and why I chose the parts that I did. Also, if you're interested between a 6600 or a 3050 or a 3050, I broke down when to choose what for what, and what some of the issues are, right? Choosing any one of those GPUs. So I try to spend a lot of time today just giving you guys all the best information. So Nerdy Gamer, I put both because we talked about both. We talked about what you could use each one for and what's going into this. So. You're welcome, Chibley. I'm glad I was able to answer the questions, man. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, I would definitely recommend that. If you really are enjoying or you have further follow-up questions, join the Discord. The motherboard model is the B660 plus D4. All the links are down in the description, guys, if you're interested in basically picking up the parts. Yeah, our community is awesome with helping people pick builds. They love to help. Except for BMOC. He does not like to help. He likes to yell at you. That's a great board, count to it. And it's cheapest places to buy it too, not just Newegg, it's everywhere. So Andy, I don't know. I went with brands and stuff that okay, so go watch my dissertation on why I chose the PSU I did. If you want to go and choose a different one, non-modular, gold, then that's fine. But I chose a brand that if 100,000 people built it, has the lowest chance of failing. These have the best MOSFETs, best capacitors. And if there's any component that you should never cheap out on, it's your PSU. I don't think the word budget and PSU should really be in the same sentence. But we will have recommendations for other inexpensive yet good PSUs, but understand there's always risk when you go belong to a certain point. There's always risk when you go below a certain point. And yeah, this has a 10-year warranty. So I just don't feel like, and modular honestly makes it easier for building as well. And this was a conversation that myself and my techs really kind of went around on. And they don't fully agree with me, but we conceded with this board, that we could all agree at least that this is a good recommendation, but it's probably Dagudi, either one is fine. Because Delicious at this point in time, AMD's AM4 platform is pretty much a dying platform. So there's no future with AM4 at this point because they're going to LGA 1700. So if you're going to build a new PC, it makes zero sense to make an AMD PC at this point. With 6,000, when 7,000 series comes out, that'll all change. Because then at that point in time, we'll have the new socket. But right now, I mean, AM4 is on the verge of done. With LGA, like, you will be able to upgrade this PC if you wanted to. So, yeah. I have no issue with AMD, guys. To be super clear, I'm very excited about AMD. And especially we built so many Ryzen PCs back when 11th gen was going on. So many, because it was hard to recommend Intel at that point in time. I drew blood for this build. Dagudi, either EVGA and Corsair are both fine. There you go. There's main right there. Yes, OG. In fact, you could go look at our $1,000 build video on YouTube, and you can see the thermals for this build. Yes, Jolt dude, they are. The APUs are actually pretty cool. Those are a very different. Trig 2 nice, yes, they are. Especially for if you're going to do a small form factor build. The EVGA G650 GM, the Cooler Master, SFX PSUs are really good. Phanteks has got some. I know isn't Lee and Lee coming out with them too? So there's actually a good number of SFX PSUs coming out. This is your VGA. Oh, okay, so people wanted to know, here, let me show you this. I'm gonna zoom in. Because a lot of people ask this question about what happened on the Mod Monday stream. So on this is the 4-pin, 8-pin. So when you look at this when it's connected, you'll see how there's a gap. There's a little bit of a gap right there that you can basically push this into. On the MSI one, there was no gap, so there was no space. This, like, essentially was absolutely solid, so you couldn't get it into the plug. And so we had to literally shave off this really thick lip to make it fit. So that's what the problem was. Yes, I have. iBlind Man, there's even a review up and on our channel. Yeah, it's like it was fused on all of them. And we couldn't get it in no matter what we did. Well, it wasn't fused, it was just like all super solid. Actually, you know what? I am like, now that I'm looking at this, I actually think it was an extension problem, not a cable, not an MSI problem. It might have been an extension problem. So those extensions, you couldn't get them in. Anyway, we fixed it and it was fine, but that's essentially what the problem was, is that because of that, we couldn't get the we couldn't get it plugged in. I think it was actually an extension problem because they were not normal extension, yeah. I don't know. They got him at Micro Center, because usually when mine, they know that I always like to use Asia Horse, but they just forgot them. So they had to go to Micro Center and get them. And they forgot, so. Because this CPU doesn't need anymore. Oh, that reminds me. No matter what, I need to do a giveaway for the level 5 hype train. I forgot to do that. Let's do that giveaway now, guys. Sorry, my bad. Level 5 hype train, $125 gift card up for grabs. Exclamation point Newegg now. Exclamation point Newegg now. Starting that giveaway right now. Thank you very much, all of you guys, for giving us a 300% on there. Exclamation point Newegg now. There we go. There we go. Last cable. Gives you guys something to do while I do this last cable. Okay, there we go. I wonder if... There we go. Whoa, weird. My screen disappeared. Okay, let me refresh here. Trying to see who the winner was. Congratulations, OneFast 5.0. You are the winner of the, there you are, OneFast 5.0. Congratulations, you are the winner of, hey, Tom, can you respond to the folks at 1X? They wrote you yesterday too. Are you on that thread? She just wrote again. There we go. Okay, there we go, guys. Build is done. Look at that. Okay, let's put this back. There we go. Okay. So there is our build, all cable managed and good there. There you go right there. So the build looks good. It's all nice and clean. Very, very clean there. And then we're also going to flip it over. And then we also have build looks good here too. So nice, clean build, simple. Let's get it sealed up and ready to go. Let's find our, what do we do with, oh, there it is. Dust filter. There we go. There is our there it is. Last part. Should have done this while it's sitting down. There we go. Okay, build is done. Yes, diesel, you want to go 750 watts, dude. That's a little underpowered for that GPU. Okay, so build's done. Okay, we're gonna just go through our sponsor and our deals real quick, and then we'll turn it on, run a couple benchmarks. So, there we go. Actually, we were able to kill a pretty good amount of time. I really thought the stream was gonna end early, but luckily we did. We did pretty good. Hey, Cooler2442, thank you for the sub. Farger, what's up, buddy? Thank you for the third 5 gifted subs. Rockstar. You're welcome, Roosevelt. That's awesome, man. Thank you. Okay, guys, we're gonna do this, and then we'll run some benches just to see how this runs for the most part. But like I said, most of the testing and stuff we'll do a little bit later. But the builds, when we turn it on, it's got games on it and everything. But before we do that, let's get this squared here. Hey, you're welcome, Cooler. Appreciate it. I appreciate that you like it. What if these guys are selling? It looks like these guys are selling keyboards now. Okay, let's go to VIP. Oops, no, I went. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let's say, for instance, the last part of this, when you're doing a budget build or whatever it was, you get done and you're like, hey, I need to build I got finished building this awesome PC. Got finished building this awesome PC, but now it's like I basically want to get a copy of Windows. So like, well, here we are going Windows. We're like, hey, I want to get a copy of Windows. We just do a search for Windows. So there's Windows. Let's just take a look at Windows 10. So Windows 10 regularly, if I was going to pick that up. Oh, this is on like the wrong, hold on, let me switch. Let's go to this one. There we go. So Windows is on sale right now. It'd be $108.78. But if you were to buy it at VIP-CDKdeals.com, you can get it for $22.72. So we can go and hit buy now. But if you use my code RBCK and hit apply, instead of $22.72, you can actually pick it up for $15.90. So there you go. So that's a pretty substantial savings, almost 10% of the total cost. Activate Windows, free upgrade to Windows 11. You get all the product support and all that sort of stuff if you go from there. Last one is, if you want to go and take a look here, and it's like, well, what about Office? So here's Office. Here's this. Check this one out. Here is Office 2000. This is Office 2016. Well, actually, that's a little old. Let's do Office. Let's look at Microsoft Office. So here's Office 2019. So Office 2019 is regularly $216.50. But here on the site, you can actually get it for $66.48. But again, if you hit buy now, use the same code RBCK at checkout, hit apply. And now you can get it for $46.54. So you have all the Office. This is Windows. This is Office Professional. So you get PowerPoint, all those things. Great for productivity, students, etc. And literally you're paying $46, almost a quarter of the cost of it. Marthas, I think so. It should be worldwide. So you should be able to get it anywhere because I think the codes work worldwide. So yes. So those are, again, check it out, VIP-CDKdeals.com. They sell other things too, but the codes that I use are actually discounts mostly on things like Office, etc. We have literally thousands of people within the chat who have purchased this. So if you have any questions, you can definitely reach out to them. And then they have great customer service. So if there's any issues, they'll work with you to get them resolved and all that sort of stuff. Last thing is RobeytechDeals.com. Great website that we have, but this is like the primary thing is about finding cheap and inexpensive tech. It also has stuff like our schedule on here. If you want to have me build you a PC, here's the link to basically email me and actually have me build you a PC. We do have some availability still left in May. But the big thing is here is we try to build, and then also if you want to build any one of our PCs, like for instance, here's our budget build. There's the entire budget build, all the parts with the cheapest links right there. So any build that you see us build, you can go there and pick that up. But the one thing we like to do is find deals for the streams, and sometimes it's whole builds, which, I mean, this is already a deals stream because we're doing a $1,000 or $1,000-ish build. But let's see what else he found. Okay, so Asus TUF VG27WQ 27-inch. This is a 1440p 2K, 1 millisecond response time, 165 max refresh rate with DisplayPort, FreeSync, HDR 400, $229.99. That is a ridiculous price for 165 hertz 1440p monitor. Core i7 12700K with promo, PAX 2243. I just picked one of these up today, $339.99. So if you're like, there was a guy asking, he's like 12600 or what would you recommend with the 3070 Ti? That's the thing, for $339 bucks, you can get a 12700K. So ridiculous in terms of cost. MSI MPG Z690 Force. We're actually going to be using this in our May the 4th build. $339.99 right now with promo code right there below. If you guys want to see this build, it'll either be Saturday and Sunday if you want to see the motherboard. This is the new EVGA XR1 Pro. We've been playing with these actually quite a bit. Really like these. If you want to do an alternative to Elgato, these have actually been pretty good. 43% off, so it's regularly $250. You can get it half off, almost half off for $124.99 over on Amazon right now. So if you're looking for a good capture card that's external and you want to try something that's a little bit different than Elgato, there is an option right there for you. The HX1000, if you're looking for a 1000 watt, 3080 Ti, 3090 build, even potentially a 3090 Ti build, though I'd recommend a 1200 for that. You can get it $184.99 with a $40 off promo code for a really, really good 1000 watt PSU. And then a 2 terabyte 3D NAND SSD. So if you want $219.99. Now, you can get a 2 terabyte just NVMe SSD for about $50 more. Just understand that. But if you are, there are some people who use them for other uses. So really, really good deal on that. Deals I like the most for today is these two right here. That monitor and that CPU are both killer deals. We've done the review on the VG27WQ, and then also that i7 is also, I mean, for 320 bucks, that's 330 bucks. That's such a crazy deal. So anyway, everybody, good job, Tom. Good job, Tom. Check out the new socials page. Oh, now we have a socials page. Oh, here's our socials page as well. Twitch, so if you're ever wondering where any of our stuff is, there's Twitch, Robeytech Live, Robeytech VODs. There's our Shorts channel, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Discord, and Facebook. So as you can see, we actually have a lot of socials, but if you're ever looking to come and check out our site and you want to find us, we're on any one of the sites, you can go there, and it's all the socials all in one location. So good job, Tom. Thank you very much for getting that launched. And there it is, that Robeytech. That looks very, very EK water block right there. So MySpace, we ended up having to cancel that because we were getting a lot of people like Star Trek fans and stuff were like reaching out. It was weird. Oh, missing the Amazon link. Good job, Gunlogger. Yeah, Tom, we need to add the Amazon link. When are you going to do the next part for the CLC build you started last week? Okay, ES Optimist, it's either going to be Saturday or Monday is the answer to the question for that. No, we can't do OnlyFans. Brands won't work with us. We even wanted to do it as a joke, but brands were like, yeah, that's funny, no. Quintus, thank you very much. Okay, guys, let's get the build turned on. Oopsie. This is stuck on, okay. Okay, here we go. The build that everyone wants to see. Only Delta fans. There we go. Tom, did you respond to her? I'm hoping that you did. Because I just want to make her expectations known. Ugh. Okay, thank you. Okay, there we go. Okay, here's the moment of truth. Let's go into mood mode. Mood mode. There we go. Okay. And boom. There it is. Mood mode engaged. Wow, look at that. Now we want to make it blue. Now I can't do blue for all of them yet. Oh, the button doesn't even work. Okay. Oh, it's already controlled by the software. So there we go. So I can't, like, even the button doesn't work right now because it's plugged in. So apparently it starts that mode, but, which is great because all the RGB is where it should be. Okay, and the best part is, there it is right there. Whole build's ready to go. Yeah, the LED strip, I love that LED strip. And there's the whole build right there. I mean, for $1,000 you get all the RGB, you have a great performing PC. You know the PSU is going to last. It's nice and performant, great gaming. Thank you very much, Chlor Slug, for the sub. I cannot understate how awesome this PC really is. Yeah, this PC is only a little over $1,000. So, and it will be nice and cool. So yeah. Yeah, BlackRock's like really happy about this. He's like, wait, what? Oh, and by the way, the last part, the most important part is, check it out, it posted. Now, we've already prepared this build. It's actually got an OS on it and all that sort of stuff, so we're actually good to go. Let's do a little bit of, let's take a little look-see in the air, and we can take a look at how it's doing from stuff like that. So, okay, so we got our, throw that in there. How's the build look? You guys happy? Yeah, we've got Windows 12 on this. We went in the future. Actually, this one's got Windows 10, just to keep it from a budget standpoint. Windows 11 is a little bit more expensive. I do it to please Steve. We got our custom keyboard we're getting out here. I've started using my own custom stuff now. Stuff that I built. There we go. There we go. Yeah, custom keyboards. This custom keyboard is not budget friendly. No, not at all. That's okay. I'm in my normal game mode now. Okay, here we go. We're gonna run setup here. Let's go ahead and turn on XMP, and then we'll hit save and exit. There we go. Just waiting for it to reset now. It's got a train RAM timings and all that sort of fun stuff. It is booted again, and now we're going into Windows. Okay, just for the sake of it, guys, let's have some little fun here. Let's do the big peel. Why not? And then we're going to do a little thermal stuff on it. Oh, the lights just changed. Oh, it's blue. Oh, it went blue and purple on its own. That was cool. Okay, here we go. Ready? Oh, let's go to the side camera. Well, let's get it. Let me think about the best way to get this. Here we go. There we go. Side camera. Okay, here we go. You guys ready? There we go. Whoa. Okay, I don't think, is this working now or? No, it's not. Okay, let's do this. Where's my mouse? Okay, there it is. Okay, so let's go in here. Let's go to PSU's Armory Crate. Skip. Cancel. Okay, there we go. RFX. Let's make it. Let's not do rainbow. Ooh, do they have like a blue and like a blue? Oh, there we go. That could be good. Oh, there we go. There we go. Look at that. That's what you want right there. Look at that side view right there. There we go. A little purple and blue action. Fits that bruise really nicely, right? Yeah, there we go. That looks good. I like that a lot with the purple and everything. So we'll get a little bit more. Oh, there you go. A little bit more of that purple now, purple and blue. Look at that. Okay, so there's our build, all pretty and done. Let's go to game capture. Okay, let's just, for the sake of this, I don't know if I put, did I put AIDA64 in this? Let's go and grab AIDA64. Not that we're going to be doing it, not that I'm worried about temps, but you guys were asking, what are our temps going to be like? We'll find out what that is real quick. I'm going to go grab AIDA64. And then we'll run Tiny Tina's and take a look at a couple games, just for fun. Funsies, funsies, funsies. Hey, I did it, guys. I made my stand goal. It's so funny. Okay, so let's throw this in here. Did it read it? This one's like super picky. There it is. Oh, no. Let's throw it here for now. Oh, dang it. Okay. Okay, so it's just for the sake of fun. Not that I'm expecting this to be anything crazy, but we'll go ahead and run and just take a look at our temps. I don't think I put hardware info on here, but I can. Okay, just for fun, funsies. Just see how this thing does, starting it right now. There it is right there. Look at that bad boy, 100%. We're up to 50. I don't know if we can handle this, guys. There we go. Thing is, that thing's, I don't know if we can hold that kind of crazy. I don't know if we can handle that kind of, those temps, guys. 12400's really getting it. There it is. So if you guys are worried about performance, like overall CPU temp performance in this build, you got nothing to worry about. We're 100% pegging this bad boy, and it's going to stay in the 60s. Yeah. So no issues whatsoever there. I mean, I could let it run longer, but I think you guys get the point that we're not going to have any issues there. So it's going to be absolutely fine. Might get up to all the way to 65. Okay, let's go ahead and finish that out. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the game. Let's start with Tiny Tina's Adventure. So we're running at 1080p, by the way. Oh, I should... Oh, hold on. So I should... I'm going to go ahead and add just the game bar stuff for now. I forgot to do that. Okay, whatever. So you guys can see the frame rate. Now we can. This is just, we're just going to run the benchmark for this, so I'm not overly worried about it. But we'll start here. So we're just going to open up this thing right here. So you're just going to see modern day game, $1,000 build. How does this just basically perform? It's optimizing shaders right now. Connor Johnson, what are you talking about? Yeah, time for LN2 negative temps on the 12400. I should write Jacob and be like, can we LN2 overclock? Oh, we can't overclock. What is the lowest unlocked? It's 12600K too, right? Wonder if we could, what we could overclock, LN2 overclock a 12600K to. OG gamers, there's actually an RGB controller in the attached to the with the case that you can push a button for, and you can actually even tie this particular AIO, this particular cooler into it, because it actually has room to add more stuff to it. And I think it's said it's pretty good in terms of the overall power that you get to it. So yeah. Okay, so here we go. Let's go to options. We're gonna go to visuals, benchmark. We're gonna do a start. Okay, we're gonna do date time, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's go to, so graphics is DX12, borderless. Vertical syncs off, resolution is 100%, unlimited frame rate. And then where graphics quality is set to ultra. Okay, so let's see how this does. We're gonna run the benchmark here. Start benchmark, here we go. See how this does. So this is a 3060, the 12400, 16 gigs of RAM. It's looking buttery smooth so far. Actually, there's some hitching there. But we're at highest preset for this. So we're getting 80 plus 88 frames, 88 frames per second. No, this is all real-time drawn. Okay, we're in the 70s now, but still. This is not a pre-rendered scene, guys. No, 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 no. No, this isn't pre-rendered at all. This is a piece. This is a gaming benchmark, not pre-rendered. So I'm just trying to show you modern games. This is Tiny Tina's Adventure, the latest game from Borderlands. I mean, from the Gearbox crew. So Borderlands-esque game. Really, really like it. There you go. I think the cheapest I've seen at 3080 is $790. I don't remember. I just bought $999. Okay, so there we go. So there is. It did a report. Let's go take a look at it. Options, benchmark. So there it is, right there. Average was 88 frames per second, with an average frame time of 11.34 milliseconds. So there you go right there. I mean, like, again, for 3060 right out of the box, you got north of 60 frames per sec at max settings on a brand new game that just came out, no problem whatsoever. Okay, so let's take that. Let's get rid of that. Quit to desktop. Let's take a look at, let's go ahead and load up Forza Horizon because they have a benchmark mode now. Okay. Oh, it's not a big update. That's good. Luckily, we just downloaded 9.3 gigs in like no time. I'll tell you, man, the Windows Store does not have the best speeds compared to like the normal Xbox and all that sort of stuff. Okay, ready to play. Just waiting for the sync to be done. Hey, Hype Train is ready to leave the station, guys, by the way. If we want to get one more Hype Train and unlock another giveaway, that would be huge for me. Appreciate you guys. I just got the notification. Yeah, Steam and Epic are way faster. Than the Windows Store for sure. Except for on the Xbox. Xbox is way faster, but not on the store. Trying to give you guys this. If you guys love content like this, then doing things like what, like doing doing hype trains, all that sort of stuff, is how you make stuff like this continue to happen. It's not technically on the Windows Store links. It's on the Xbox Store, but it's still powered by Windows Store. Hans Venom, we're not going to hit 500 thumbs. We just got to get to 3. I knew this was going to be a lower viewership view because we're doing a budget build.
Press enter to start.
Okay. Benchmark mode. Okay, here we go.
Option highlighted. Custom. Option 2 of 3. Control type. Button.
Please stop talking. Thank you.
Loading.
You can do a top-mounted AIO. We have done a top-mounted AIO. If you want to see a build with that, we just did it. You can do a 240, yes. Yeah. Can somebody get, let's see, Chlorslug did it about, so okay, so we'd have to, if we wanted to get the hype train going, guys, we'd have to kick that off. If somebody wants to start that whole process, that would be amazing. So, see if we can get 2 hype trains in a budget build themed stream. So we're optimizing the PC, and we need 19 more thumbs for us to do the two. There we go. PC guy dropping 100 bits. Farger dropping 5 gifted subs. There's my team right there. There it is. They're trying to get it. Let's see who else can do it. Just need like 2 more, and then we'll 2 more people to start the same thing. Thank you very much, Farger and PC guy, for getting it going. There we go. One fast 5.0 trying 100 bits. We got to be close. I think you have to do 5 things. There it is. Victor65 doing 5 gifted subs. Red Dragon doing 5. And there is Hype Train right there. Started. And right in time for the benchmark mode. So let's watch some pretty benchmarking while we Hype Train. It should have gotten Hype Train, right? Oh, do we need one more thing? Oh, there it is. Hype Train started. There it goes. There it is. Level 4 already. Jeez. Okay, so here we are. We're running the hype. This is running the benchmark. Igor dropping 2 gifted subs. Thank you, my friend. As you can see, this PC is having 0 issues running these games. Oh, Karengu, 5 gifted subs. Thank you, my friend. Almost to level 5 already. Then we'll basically almost have 3. We'll have 3 $25 gift cards at the end of this. Thank you very much for doing this, guys. It really means a lot to me. Yeah, we haven't turned ray tracing on. We'll do that when we do Cyberpunk. So show it with ray tracing and everything. With DLSS and all that sort of stuff. Here they can do it. Kenneth, yes, you can. Actually, they're all daisy chained together in this build. They're all daisy chained together. All my fans are daisy chained together for RTX. Igor, 2 more. There it is. Taking us to level 5. Now we just got to finish this last bit. We're done. Oh, sorry. I'll turn down this stuff. Oh, sorry. Wow. There we go. I didn't even know that worked like that anymore. There you go. Is that better? We can't hear you over the... Okay, I turned it way down. How's that? Is that better? Okay. That loud cars. Okay, there we go right there. So there is our setting. 60 for achieve. Oh, I probably have it locked. But we did 60 frames per second. Extreme price preset, current system preset. But yeah, no problem whatsoever. We use 6.25 of the 12 gigs. And there's our 3060. Everything is extreme and high and no problem. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so let's go to video options, let's go to graphics. I wonder if there is. So it's all setting in there. So there it is, guys. 60 frames per second. We could probably do unlocking the frame rate, but all in all, we're good there, and everything is good to go. Oggs, thank you very much, guys. 3 minutes left to finish that out. Okay, so let's see what else we got in here. I got a lot of games on here. Here, we'll do Guardians of the Galaxy. If you've never seen this game is incredible. This one also has a benchmark mode. Which do you recommend for a case? Lian Leo 11 Dynamic Cell or Evo? Not water cooled. The Evo I really like. So we're going to do here full screen, not VSync. So we're going to turn both of these off for now. Okay, let me do this. Hold on. There we go. Okay, there's supposed to be a benchmark mode in this, if I'm not mistaken. 2 minutes, guys. Well, let's finish out the level 5. And we're super close on the likes too. Yeah, I knew it has a benchmark. Yes, yes. Six more likes on YouTube, guys. We're using a 3060 because this is a budget build. Igor, thank you very much, my friend. $50, 60 seconds, guys. We're almost done. Let's get those last two. We're at the very end. We got so close. I'll press Alt Enter in a minute. So close. 40 seconds. And there's YouTube. So YouTube's done. We just got one more to go. Farger taking us in 30 seconds. Last bit. Victor, there we go. There's my team. Thank you very much, guys. You're awesome. Okay, so let's do this. Let's go to settings, graphics. Okay, there we go. We're on ultra stuff right there. Okay, there it is. Benchmark. Okay. Oh, I gotta. Oh, it's. I guess you can't do it in the benchmark. Okay. You guys are rock stars. Okay, let's start the giveaways. Hype train's complete. Got all the subs. Let's do the giveaways here. So we're gonna draw 3 winners for this. And I'm gonna have to rerun this thing. Okay, so same thing. 3 $25 Newegg gift cards up for grabs. Starting that giveaway right now. Yeah, I need to reset and apply this stuff and all that sort of stuff too. So we'll run it. We're not even running it max right now. This game is super fun, by the way. If you've never played it. 55 seconds, guys. Okay, so we had 206 frames per second because we were at high detail, 10 attribute, but yeah, look at that. Like, no, pretty much okay. Average frames was 158. Okay, that seems fine. You just got rickrolled, guys. Okay, ultra, high. We'll do well, we're not going to turn ray tracing on. Okay, so everything here is fine. Okay, let's go to display. Turn VSync off. Okay. Okay, let me do, I'm going to exit. And then I'm going to do my settings here. Let's do Guardians. One more time. Okay, congratulations to Shoom State, Tough MN and Meshine. Congratulations. You guys are the winners of the, whoops, that's not what I wanted. Of the $25 Newegg gift cards. Okay, here we go. Let's go to full screen. Well, let's just do exclusive full screen. Oh, that would also help. 1920 by 1080. Resolution's fine, whatever. And then we have nothing else. Okay, apply. Here we go. Let's get it for real now. No wonder the resolution was so high there. There we go. Now it's full screen. Congratulations, winners. You guys are the winners. Canadian Gamer, I just did it that way. And the resolution was wrong, that's why. This build came out so good. So again, guys, what we're testing here, just going to a side view, what we're testing is we just got finished building this, budget build, and we're now just doing some light benchmarking on it. We checked temps, no problem. Again, just around $1,000. It's called our Bruiser build because it's got it's like purple and blue in terms of just the overall aesthetics. And then right now at this point in time, we're just basically running some games on it just to see how it would perform if you were to pick it up. Okay, so let's go. We're just going to check our, whoops, that's not what I wanted. Just check our settings again. Graphics are at ultra. Everything else is good. Okay, let's run our benchmark. See how it does. So this is, again, we're not doing DLSS, nothing else, just testing games. I'm glad you like it, Pig Radio. Here we go. Look how good that looks. And we don't even have ray tracing on right now. It's also super good. It was just a good game. Are you guys enjoying the content? You guys enjoying seeing how the game, the whole thing runs at the end? Trying to give you guys like a good roundabout sometimes. Okay, good. Okay, so here's our numbers. We're gonna see how it ran. Okay, so we were getting 1920 with HDR off, 16%. We were getting 156 frames per second with a minimum of 89 and a max of 90. So again, pretty much awesome and no problem whatsoever right there. So yeah, that seems good. So we're getting a solid 60 and so we saw good. So far, everything that we kind of run has been awesome. Okay, so let's open up Steam real quick. I think Steam might already be open. Maybe it's running. Yes. Okay, so let's end on this. Let's go and open up Cyberpunk. This is always a good one to end on. And we have some other ones on here too. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Horizon Zero Dawn. We got God of War, Elder Scrolls. Red Dead. So I put up some other ones on here, but we'll definitely be doing it. I'm just gonna continue that account for now. And then just hit play. Okay, so let's run our benchmark on Cyberpunk. And then this one, what we'll do is we'll run the non-DLS, no ray tracing version of the thing, and then we'll add ray tracing and then do DLSS, because it's still, like, I think it's pretty impressive what you can do with just DLSS, even at quality. So let's go to settings, gameplay graphics. It's on ray trace. Okay, so we're just going to go to Ultra right now. So we're not on ray tracing Ultra, even though it set it there already. DLSS should be off. Ray tracing's off. DLSS is off. Okay, there we go. And then let's go to additional content. I'm trying to remember where the benchmark is. Settings, graphics. Oh, there it is, benchmark. Okay, here we go. So we're running Ultra, no ray tracing, just to see what we basically get. Thank you much. Bittersweet, by the way, Fist Komar, Chernoma, and Impulse GTO. Thank you very much for the subs, guys. So this is if you're going to play Cyberpunk 2077 at Ultra 1080p with this budget build. Well, yeah, all I need to do for this monitor is hit 60. Geodude, yes, they've been in stock every single day. Including this 3060, the one for $379. Just follow along on Newegg's website and then on EVGA's. So there we go right there. Average frames per second, we got 67. So we're running Ultra at 67. Min FPS was 44. Max FPS was 99. And so we got an average, which you are seeing some dips. So again, I would definitely recommend going down to high from there. But let's have a little fun. I want to end with this little bit. Let's add ray tracing. We'll put it at ray tracing ulting, and then we're going to set DLSS to performance. So we're going to go settings, graphics. Let's go to Ultra, ray tracing Ultra. So DLSS, we're going to set it to quality and leave it alone. We're not going to do dynamic. We're not going to turn FSR on at this point in time, though FSR does work on both. NVIDIA and also on AMD GPUs. But it's weird to stack, and then it gets funky. FPM around the resolution. So Connor, what do you mean? The resolution is 1920 by 1080, and the game is Cyberpunk 2077. I don't understand your question. Oh, it's okay. So there we go. 45 frames per second with ray tracing on Ultra. So sorry, this is ray tracing on quality. So this is the best you're getting with ray tracing. And this looks really dang good. So this is DLSS set to quality. And all the ray tracing is. So this is every visual bell and whistle enabled. So you're getting greater than 30 frames per second. So a lot of people, yeah. This is a 12400 with a 3060. So this is with ray tracing at Ultra, DLSS set to balance. We saw an average frames per second of 50.84. Now, here's the deal. 30 frames per second in this game is great. I mean, 60 would obviously be better, but we aren't done yet. We aren't done yet because I want to show you this one. But if you want to play at 30 with all the bells and whistles on, you can very easily hit 30 with this game, with a single-player game, which would be okay. 60 is obviously what we want ideal. But again, we're playing at the highest preset. Let's set DLSS to Ultra Performant now, and then you'll see what it is. Thoughts on a 12600K with a 3070 Ti? It's a great system, Joe. Blackmouth Productions, this is $1,000. Just over $1,000 for this PC. Okay, so we're going to go here. And we're going to set it Ultra Performant and hit Apply. And run our benchmark. Quackerjack, it just comes down to how much you want the graphical bells and whistles. Ray tracing on Cyberpunk makes a big difference. Ray tracing in Guardians of the Galaxy looks really good. So ray tracing it makes a big difference on some of the reflections, especially with the outside world stuff. Now understand what DLSS does, and the thing is obviously the more product that it does, is it uses AI super sampling, so the resolution is actually done, and then it uses sampling to basically get your resolution back. So resolution is dropped, and then it's done, rendered at a lower scale, and then AI, and that's all based on how many times it's been played and done from there, is then used to put it back at its normal resolution, which is what makes it able to run so well at these frames. This is what you're seeing right now. You are incapable of running on a console. Yeah, so it fakes it, yes. Yeah, ray tracing on Doom is cool, Igor. We played that over with Jacob and stuff. That was actually pretty cool. It breaks some of the game though. So there you go right there. So with DLSS, you are sitting at 86 frames per second. So you're hitting north of 60, every bell and whistle, and look at that. You're never getting below 60 frames per second with everything at max. So that is everything at max. Now you could go to Performant, which is going to get a little better. Auto is what I recommend, because auto ends up being right at cloud 60 right around 60 frames per second. Or you never hit south of 60, which is what you want for this game. So really, really cool in terms of overall performance. So anyway, guys, there you go. This has been, and we're going to go through all the testing now and do our little testing and all that sort of stuff on this build all up, so we can give you like the full picture and show the why I went through and give you guys all the data as to why I chose the build that I did. But the short of it is, you guys we came in, I told you, I basically walked you through why we chose this build. Like all the parts, why I chose each one, that dissertation. So if you want to use this as a great reference point, it's all here saved for you. Trevor will come in and he'll cue it, cut it down so it's nice and short, and then moves around, and then plus it'll be time-stamped. Then you saw the PC built from end to end, cable managed, looking pretty, all that sort of stuff. And then lastly, you saw it benchmarked, right? You saw it in Guardians of the Galaxy, you saw it in Forza Horizon 5, you saw it in Tiny Tina's Adventure, and then finally you saw it in Cyberpunk 2077. Every single thing, what this thing was capable of doing, in each one of those games is, well above what you're going to do in any console. Now, understand this is twice the cost of a console, but you're getting 2 times the performance for sure at this point in time. The other thing too is it's 12th gen, so with the next version of the chip, this should be upgradable. So if you wanted to upgrade to a 13400, I know some people are talking about the power supply. All in all, with the new version of the power coming out for PCI 5, the power connector, you can still use the 2-pin. Every one of them is shipping with a adapter that allows you to do the 12-pin on any one of those GPUs. It's still not exactly determined if a 4060, which will probably have 3070 Ti performance, if a 4060 or 4060 Ti will even have that same GPU connection. The question is, it'll more than likely have 2 8-pins for this generation, and then for 5000 series, you'll probably see the 12-pin more adopted. The bigger thing is that even on every one of those, having a 650 watt PSU for a 30, that would be the only thing, is that For a 3060, a 4060, if it's following the same performance stuff, you may need a 750 watt, which is if you're thinking about future proofing, you could go and get a 750 watt over a 650 watt if you wanted to. Truth Alkalite, I'm guessing it'll actually be January. I think announcement will be in November with release in January. I don't think it'll be the TSM chip manufacturing, which is what they need. I still don't think it's far. And the fact that they pushed 3090 Ti out launch 2 months is probably a good indication of that. And again, remember 40 will probably launch with a 4080 and a 4070, but the 4060 won't be there. So the 3060 will reign king until sometime early next year. So. Anyway, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. We have another build tomorrow. We're going to be showing an entire PC that you can build at GameStop. GameStop is in the PC part job. So that's going to be happening starting tomorrow. That's going to be happening tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific time. And then we have Amazon Live on Friday. We're either going to be doing the the Corsair water-cooled on Saturday, or we're going to be doing the May the 4th build that we're going to be giving away as part of our May the 4th on Saturday. So that's a Bo-Katan build. And then if that happens on Saturday, then we'll do the Corsair build on Monday. And then we'll go from there. So that's the next kind of couple of days. Outside of that, guys, really appreciate you guys going there. Thanks for both hype trains. Thanks for all of the support. You guys are incredible. And like I said, this will be the subathon giveaway for next year, for next month. We'll set up a subathon goal. And once we hit that subathon over the course of the month, the moment that happens, we'll give away this PC just live on stream. So that is what's happening, and that's where we'll go from there. Anyway, guys, appreciate you. Have a great night, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys. Oh, one last thing. Sorry, one last thing before I get too far. Don't forget, guys, we still have the giveaway attached to $25. So once we go off, don't forget to leave a feedback. Let us know something you liked, you didn't like about the stream. Just make sure you leave that feedback in the YouTube. You need to have an email in your YouTube profile, but let us know something, feedback, anything about the build, about the stream, whatever, right after this goes offline over at youtube.com/Robeytech. Anyway, guys, appreciate you, and we'll see you guys later. Bye.